So we need to investigate what the heck is going on here. Because I have no idea. I think we looked at the monochrome file, I think. I'm gonna look at Kokoro. How is she frozen? I don't understand. Kokoro's body was lying down on the bed like a lifeless block of ice. Kokoro, who killed you? Is it even possible to figure out the culprit without Kokoro's help? Pretty sure that, like, that's why she was targeted, right? Because she can kind of figure out people's personalities and what they really like. So that's why they targeted her. I think it started at the concert that they did for the twins. I think that's when it started, and I don't know, it's weird. It's weird. Why is she not wearing any clothes? I don't understand. No, we can't let ourselves despair. Even without Kokoro, we need to win the class trial. Kokoro, if you'll excuse me, I'll need to feel around your body to examine you. Kokoro's body was frozen, and she was only wearing her underwear. It was an appalling sight, but the culprit may have left some evidence behind.
The cause of death is due to freezing for sure.
But since the monochrome file mentioned that there may be additional causes, I shouldn't jump to conclusions. In addition to that, both of Kokoro's hands and feet were neatly cut off.
This may be the direct cause of death, but nothing's confirmed yet.
Other than that, there were no identifiable injuries. It's hard to notice other abnormalities in the first place due to the whole corpse being frozen.
Hey!
Laura, are you investigating Kokoro's body? Yes, I thought I might find some potential leads. Oh, did you find anything? No, not yet. I have a question though. Why is Kokoro only wearing her underwear? Isn't it because the culprit undressed her? What I'm saying is, why would you take off your clothes in the first place? Why would you take off her clothes in the first place?
Maybe...
Well, there must have been some reason. Right now, her clothes are under the bed. Maybe it's so that she'd freeze to death quicker? Honestly, I don't have a clue. I really feel sorry for her. I wouldn't want to die like this. I don't know who the culprit is, but I'm not going to let the culprit get off easy. To leave Kokoro in such a terrible state as this, it's unforgivable. I wish I could cover her with a blanket, but thinking rationally, Shobai's words make sense. There could be evidence found on Kokoro's body. In fact, you're investigating it too, Sora. Right.
Huh?
By the way, Sora, did you also investigate the bed? The bed?
Listen.
While Iroha and I were investigating around the bed, we found bloodstains. Of course I saw that. Aren't those from the cut hands and feet? No, not that. I'm talking about the dry bloodstains. Dry?
Look.
It looks like some time has passed for these bloodstains to dry. You can tell from its color and texture. So, where did those bloodstains come from? It doesn't seem like it's from the severed hands and feet.
Although...
From the looks of it, the blood from the severed limbs came from the frozen blood vessels as they started to thaw. With this, we can assume the hands and feet were cut off after Kokoro had completely frozen over. Then these bloodstains must be from before Kokoro was frozen, right?
But...
Yeah, I thought so too. But then again, it's probably too soon to say anything for certain.
Wow!
Yoriko, You're a lot smarter than you seem.
Enough already.
Hey, why do you keep acting like using my brain is some kind of big feat for me? I'm trying my best to figure out what happened too, you know. I'll make sure to take note of that. Thanks, Yoriko. Is the bloodstain from the disease she contracted, which I'm sure happened at the concert. Like, I don't know how, but thing where she couldn't move or talk. Maybe she was coughing up blood.
I don't.
Huh? It's nothing, really. Severed limbs has been added to the bullet section. Dry blood stains. Oh, Yuki's gonna have a clue. I kind of want to talk to Emma. Emma, how's your investigation going?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Sora, but I want to focus on investigating right now. Can we talk after the trial is over? I have to avenge Kokoro's death. I see. I'll try my best too. I feel like Kokoro was her best friend, right? So I figured, I know, I'm not saying she didn't have a strong reaction to it, but I don't know. Like right now, as they're investigating, she seems very indifferent. That just could be my interpretation. I could be completely wrong, but Zora, how's your progress? I'm still in shock, really. Me too. But we should keep investigating. Oh, that's right. I wanted to ask you something, Yuki. Ask me? About what? You said this morning that Kokoro didn't open her door when you brought her meal last night, correct? Can you give me a full recap of what happened?
Sure.
Sure, if that would help. It's just like what I said in the morning. After dinner last night, I suggested that to Emma. Since she always left right after finishing a meal, I hadn't had the chance to talk to her in a while. So I suggested going to visit Kokoro together. My, what a brave move on your part. Are you sure that there weren't any personal feelings involved? Personal feelings? Emma wasn't in the best state because of Kokoro's condition, and she was looking for someone to visit with her anyways. I'm joking, Yuki. Please continue.
All right.
Right. Anyways, so that's how Emma, Teria, and I became a group for Kokoro's supper delivery last night. When we arrived, there was no answer. We even told her we brought Teria, but again, nothing. After a few more tries, we all just assumed she must have been sleeping. So we left her supper in front of her door and left. It'd be logical to assume that she was already dead at that point.
Well,
I doubt that. Remember what Yoriko said earlier? The supper we left on her doorstep had been taken away that night. Yoriko? What? Did someone call me? Yoriko, perfect timing. Is it true that the dinner at Kokoro's doorstep was gone when you passed by last night? Just because it was gone, though, that doesn't mean she was the one who ate it, right? Could have been the culprit could have moved it or taken it to make it seem like she ate it. So they wouldn't know when she died, especially since the time of death isn't even in the file. Huh? Well, yeah. That's what I saw. I told you that this morning. Come to think of it, it was Yoriko who brought this morning's meal, right? If it's okay, could I ask you what you did? What did you do this morning?
Although,
I just delivered the food and did my usual stuff. I went with Teria to deliver the breakfast. And when we called for her, there was no answer. So, just like Yuki, I left the food by her door and went straight to the village. Village? What for?
listen.
I always practice cooking in the morning at the village. Hopefully one day, we won't have to rely on Mikado's cooking. But the breakfast that Yoriko left is still here on the doorstep and hasn't been touched. So that means it's almost certain Kokoro died this morning. I don't know about that. What's with the looks on your faces? Are you guys suspecting me? Not one bit. It's useless to suspect anyone when the trial hasn't even started yet. Yeah, no, she wouldn't be the suspect in both trials. She wouldn't. Yuki, we need more clues for now.
Sorry.
You're right. Let's not jump to conclusions. The only time anyone would enter this room is during the 3 scheduled visits. Excluding just now when we found Kokoro's corpse, the possible times are this morning and yesterday evening. I think it was the evening yesterday. Could be wrong, but that's what I think. Yoriko and Yuki's account on those 2 visits might come in handy. I should write this down. Yuki's account, Yoriko. Okay, we looked at the monochrome file. Drum. This is a drum container? What is this doing in Kokoro's room? What does that say on there? Liquid nitrogen? Is that how they froze her? On closer inspection, there was a label on the drum. Liquid nitrogen, handle with caution. Liquid nitrogen. This thing can freeze an object in an instant. After carefully opening the lid and looking inside, I found that it was empty. If it's empty, that means somebody used it. This seems like an important clue. Where would they have gotten it from?
What is it?
Rara, what are you doing? Setsuka, take a look at this. It's liquid nitrogen. The culprit must have used this to freeze Kokoro.
Huh?
Using liquid nitrogen to freeze Koko? Are you sure? Isn't it a possibility? I mean, how else would she be frozen solid?
But...
If the culprit used liquid nitrogen, there must be some traces of it left somewhere. What do you mean?
aside from that...
If they put Koko on the bed and poured liquid nitrogen on her, the sheets in the bed should have been frozen as well. Is that why her blanket's missing? Like, there's no blanket on her bed. Did they take it? But other than the room temperature, there aren't any frozen traces anywhere, let alone the bed. If they didn't pour it on her, maybe they could have dunked Kokoro into the container, then pulled her out?
Besides...
If that's the case, they wouldn't have been able to pull her out. Their hands would have frozen the instant they put them in the container. And if they poured it on the floor would have been frozen. Not to mention, the container's empty, right? If they dipped her in, some traces or leftover liquid would have definitely been left inside. So, that means the culprit didn't use liquid nitrogen? But then, why is this...
Thing is...
Well, I guess we need to investigate more. Maybe we'll find our answer later. After hearing Setsuka's words, I'm sure there's more to the drum than meets the eye. Well, yeah, obviously, why else would it be there? I decided to make a note of it for now. Okay, so we looked at all these things over here. The fridge. Let's look at the fridge. A refrigerator. Perhaps there's some kind of clue inside here? Nothing special to note. Wait. Huh? This is... I first thought it to be a normal refrigerator, but I soon noticed something odd. What is that? The divider is a bit tilted? Was she stuffed into the freezer? The divider between the refrigerator compartments seems to be a bit unnatural, like someone just crammed it in. So this divider was removable. I guess Kokoro could have just misplaced it at some point, but I'll write it down just in case. Did they take it out, put her in, and then put it back in? Like what? Oh, Sora, you saw that too? Are you talking about the refrigerator dividers? It does look a bit suspicious, but I doubt it'll be an important clue. No, not that. You didn't miss it, did you? The dying message. Huh? The dying message? I opened the door and searched the insides again, but I couldn't see anything resembling a dying message that Kanade mentioned. Where's the dying message? Oh, poor Sora. You're more dense than you look. See the bottom compartment over there? Are you talking about these icicles? Is it Japanese again? I can't do that again. I can't read the Japanese.
Certainly.
Yep. This is the dying message that Kokoro left. These icicles are the dying message? Only we're in Hangul, then I can read it. I can't read it. I can kind of see that it looks like Japanese a little bit. I thought these were just frozen icicles that had dropped down.
Use your head.
Oh, Sora, come on. Use that brain a bit more. We can deduce 2 facts from these icicles. First, the refrigerator's output is set to maximum power. I'm sure you heard from Monocro, but the refrigerators in our room can be set to instant freezing or defrosting modes, depending on its output power. This particular refrigerator is set to instant freezing mode. Oh, I see. I guess the one in my room wasn't cold enough to form icicles.
Also,
Second, Kokoro used these icicles to leave a dying message. Sora, take a closer look at these icicles. On closer inspection, the icicles had small carvings on their bases. On one side it says F, the other O. Wait, what? There's letters in there? I think I see the F. I thought these were just scratches, but these were deliberately engraved by someone.
indeed.
Yep. And if you look closely, 2 of those 8 icicles are overlapped. Overlapped?
But
Well, to be specific, the longer one had penetrated the smaller one. And the pierced icicle, the smaller one, has not F and O, but F and I engraved on it. What? I just thought it was like katakana or something. Kind of looks like it. Now that you've pointed out, it does look like that. What does the F-O-F-I have to do with anything? But how did you know that this is the dying message?
it's obvious.
I mean, it's obvious. The icicles were lined up in an unnatural way. Plus, the refrigerator... Oh, I'm sorry. I clicked it by accident before I could read it. So, what does it mean?
Are you for real?
Does the dying message have any other purpose than to point out the killer? Then, did you find out who the culprit is? That's... I can't tell you right now. I'll need a bit longer to think about it. Don't worry. I'll be sure to figure it out before the trial. She's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. This is a dying message? A message that points out who's the killer. Although I'm not sure what it means. I can't just leave it all to Kanade. We should figure it out together at the trial. Oh, the student e-handbook? I instinctively checked my pockets and found mine was still on me. But if not mine, then obviously it's Kokoro's.
Now then.
I think it's probably Kokoro's. Oh, hey, Nikkei. That e-handbook right there is making the situation a whole lot more complicated. What do you mean?
Right.
Think about it. Our rooms can only be opened by the owner's e-handbook. The e-handbook is inside the room, yet Kokoro was also killed inside the room. It's a locked room mystery. So, the key to the room was inside the room itself. Could this be a locked room murder? Yeah. And Kokoro would never open the door if it's not for her meals. So that would mean someone who was here to bring her food use that chance to kill Kokoro.
Well,
That would be impossible. It'd be possible if only one person had visited her. But including Teria, there were always more than 2 people that had visited her. Oh, I see.
that's why.
And yet, despite that, there are no other ways to enter these rooms. So, it only could have happened during mealtime. Nikkei, maybe if someone had stolen Kokoro's e-handbook, couldn't they come in whenever they wanted? Huh? They could have snatched the e-handbook while giving Kokoro her food. Then, after that, they could have entered the room freely as they pleased. That's not possible either. So what if they steal it? You can't even turn on the e-handbook if you don't have the owner's fingerprints. Oh.
That's why.
Even if you happen to leave the e-handbook on, you wouldn't be able to use it again without the fingerprint. The e-handbook automatically turns off after a certain amount of time. So unless you plan to re-enter right after you left, you won't be able to enter the room. Aw, I thought I solved the mystery. Anyways, if we don't solve the trick behind this locked room murder, this trial is gonna get real difficult real fast. You can't enter the rooms without the e-handbook. Then how did the culprit enter Kokoro's room? Okay, I think the last one is talking to Mikado. Oops.
Huh?
Oh, Miss Sora. How's the investigating going? You're in my way. Get out.
Megan, please wait.
Are there no depths to your cruelty, Miss Sora? And I was just about to show you a clue I'd found. A clue?
Oh.
Yes. Take a look at this. What is this? Dry ice?
So how's that?
An opened bag of dry ice, no less. I found it on the floor, just over there. Dry ice. So this is how they froze Kokoro?
Good grief.
Who knows? But wouldn't it be too difficult to freeze someone with just this? You could partially freeze some parts, but there are only so many pieces. Definitely not enough to completely freeze Kokoro's whole body. But the fact this open bag exists means that they must have used it one way or another. Perhaps the low temperature of this room can provide a clue. It would definitely be hard to freeze a whole body with just this. Still, the fact that this exists means that they must have used it in one way or another.
But
That's what I just said. Considering the cold air and white mist that was here, there is a possibility that they used it to lower the room's temperature. This feels like an important clue. I should write it down.
please stop that.
Miss Sora, I missed it. I didn't even click it. It just went off without me even clicking it. That was weird. Oh well, I missed it. I don't know what they said. Alright, we can leave, I guess. I think I searched every part of the room. Where should I go next? I think you should go to where they held the concert.
Huh?
Huh? Sora? Why are you just standing there? Oh, I was just wondering where I should investigate next. What about you? Weren't you supposed to guard the crime scene? I was going to take a quick bathroom break. The trial's about to start soon. Wouldn't want to have an accident during the trial. So I left the crime scene to Hibiki. I see.
Hey,
Perfect timing. You there. Sora, I think he's calling you.
what a dumbass.
You, artist. Yeah, you. Bubblehead. Me? Bubblehead? Wait, why me? I think this is the first time we've talked to each other.
So let me get this straight.
I don't care which of you it is. I'm gonna take my nap in a room for a second. So one of you, wake me up when the trial starts. What? What kind of... I don't get why you're asking me. Or why you'd even be sleeping during the investigation.
How about this?
How about this? If you don't do it, then I'll make sure you don't wake up at all. alright, I'll do it. Shobai, are you out of your mind? Did you even consider investigating for even a second? Investigating? Why bother? I already know who done it. What? So you know who the culprit is? This is such a shock that bathroom? Bye-bye. What do you mean by I already know who done it?
That's right.
The culprit slipped up with something they said. I was the only one to hear it, though. Wait a sec. Why am I even telling you this? Just go and tell that little bubblehead to wake me up later on. If she doesn't, you're next. Did someone say something weird? I can't remember. What's up with him? He's so confident about what he said. It doesn't seem like he's lying. Even if he knows who the Blackened is, that attitude certainly isn't very pleasant. If we try to rely on him, who knows what'll happen. I guess I'll just ignore his words and try to solve this on our own terms. Sora, did he say anything while I was... Wait, where's Shobai? I don't have a lot of details. He just left after telling me to tell you to wake him up from his nap. Unbelievable. I got scared, so I accepted his request without thought, but I'm not going to do it. Never. It's that attitude. Ignoring others as you please. Maybe it'll be better to leave him here so he'll be executed for not joining this trial. Sora, isn't that going a bit too far? I was joking. Please don't take that seriously. It's kind of hard to tell when Sora's joking. To be honest, she can be kind of mean. Anyways, I'm going off to investigate elsewhere for now. Okay, I guess I'll return to my post now. See you later. Okay, I think I want to go to where the concert... Oh, there's places here to investigate? Oh, I didn't even see him over here. I'm like... Whoa, Sora, good work as usual. What am I, a Yakuza or something? What's that greeting? Furthermore, Shinji, what are you doing here? This is the door to the balcony.
The thing is...
Well, I went jogging this morning and, I thought I saw something, strange. It looked like a white long cloth leading towards the balcony, so I thought I'd find something here. A white and long cloth?
Yeah, but...
Yeah, but I didn't find anything. Balcony. Shinji, would it be possible to leave the monocruise to the balcony?
But, wait!
What? Why? Just in case. The windows are all closed on the ship, so this is the only known way out other than the main entrance. But it's quite tall. It might look weird, but the monocruise itself has the proper structure of a regular cruise ship. Even if you tried landing in the sea, the water level around this part of the ship is pretty shallow, so you'd probably injure yourself no matter what. Then, couldn't you use some kind of rope to pull yourself down?
Then...
Huh? Well, I guess it wouldn't be impossible. Anyways, thanks. I'll write this down. Balcony. I'll be leaving then.
Hold on.
Sora, where are you off to? Oh, I already figured out where I want to investigate next. Thanks to you. Thanks to me? Good luck with the rest of your investigation, Shinji. I guess she wants to go downstairs. Here, why are we here? The Mythical Wonders Museum. Shinji said that the Yuki Onna statue here had been broken a few days ago. I don't really know if it's because of that, but I felt like something might be here. I guess I was wrong. Excluding the broken ice statue, there weren't any clues to note. Maybe Kanade was right. Maybe I'm not cut out for investigations. The dressing room, perhaps? Since I'm already here, maybe I'll check it out.
Whoa!
What? Don't scare me like that. Huh? Teria?
Jeez.
Oh, it's you, Sora. You scared me. Sitting right in front of the door like that. Were you just inside the dressing room?
In other words,
Yeah. I thought I checked the items list. Oh, he's doing that again like he did. When was that a key element in the last game? Was it the second one, too? Item list. What's that?
seriously?
Oh, so you don't know? It's a checklist of the various items in the room. It's right there on the wall. Oh, so what did you want to check about the list?
You see,
I just checked to see if there's anything missing. Looks like everything's there and accounted for, though. The item list also exists in other places like the mart and the workout room. I guess it's hard to notice if you're not actively looking for it. Anyways, I was checking them one by one. This one's the last one, but the stock matches the wares, so that's a relief. You've been checking all of them one by one?
it's my duty.
Yeah, I always do. My God, Teria, are you some kind of freak?
What are you saying?
What? How could you say that about me? Actually, as soon as I heard the word killing game, I felt the need to check these every day. I had a hunch that something bad might happen if I don't. I don't know why. Because it happened in the last one. I wonder if there's any point in that, but it would work anyways. So there's no problems?
By the way,
Well, I did find one weird thing. Something out of the ordinary?
this is...
One of the wigs had some shards or something on it. What is that, a Mikako wig? I don't know where it got those. Maybe I'm being overly meticulous. I don't know.
no good.
Might have no relevance to the case at all. I mean, Kokoro was killed in a room, so why would there be any clues way out here? I'm just doing my routine checkup. Wait, come to think of it, why are you here, Sora? That's...
Well, I think that was enough time. I will now end the investigation.
I'm wondering if whoever did it wore the wig, but like, why would they do that? I don't know.
I trust you've all been working hard, so you should have plenty of clues to solve this case.
I don't know.
Everyone, gather at the entrance to the class trial room on the first floor of the monocruise. If you're late, you'll have a hefty punishment waiting for you.
Gosh. Teria, I don't think we have any time left to be chatting like this. Yeah, you're right. Let's head to the class trial room right now. Sora, you're here. I'm sorry I'm late. Am I the last to arrive?
Well,
No? Iroha and Shobai aren't here yet. What are they doing? They should be well aware of the penalty for being late.
Aside from that,
That being said, I can read. That being said, to come back to this place again. Tell me about it. We wouldn't be here if there weren't any murders. I think we'd have another victim.
Shit.
Kokoro.
no,
If Koko isn't here, we're...
don't worry.
Don't worry, sis. I'll take care of everything.
Hey,
Teria, you got plenty of experience with this class trial stuff, right? I have high expectations for you, okay?
seriously?
This has nothing to do with experience. I don't have any memory of them, remember? And it might sound a bit irresponsible, but I'm not the brightest person around. Yeah, let's be honest. Throughout the first game, Teria didn't really contribute all that much to the trials. If Ray was here instead, she would certainly have been more helpful.
It's my duty.
I'll do my best. I've changed since then. Yeah, clearly.
Ah, how boring.
Yes, who doesn't have high expectations of you? Me.
So,
Moreover, what is up with what he wrote? What is up with Iroha and Shobai? Why are they taking so long? I've gotta say, what an unlikely duo. Iroha's probably off to wake Shobai up.
What?
Wake up? What do you mean? Well, Shobai said he was gonna take a nap until the class trial starts, saying that he has nothing more to investigate. What? Nothing more to investigate? Unbelievable. How should I say this? He looked pretty relaxed. He says he already figured out who did it.
What the hell?
The culprit? But I don't have a single clue on what happened.
why?
Is he thinking that all of this, Kokoro's death, is just fun and games? I can't forgive that kind of attitude.
Well,
Well, there's also the chance that he's actually the culprit and he's bluffing.
that's...
Whatever the case may be, he was still napping while everyone was investigating for their lives.
Good grief.
It's nothing new. This is the same person that slept through the trial last time, after all.
Jeez.
He's definitely crazy. I'm sorry for being late. Ugh. Shobai, you arrogant slime ball. Stop napping when our lives are on the line. These class trials are not a joke. Got it?
Are you serious?
We're the last ones here, right? Let's get moving.
Better watch it.
Moving my butt. You never do anything.
Hey,
Why are you late, Iroha? Sorry, Shobai, he isn't the type to easily wake up.
Could this get any more boring?
This case is easy anyways. You can take it all by yourselves. I need to go over the deals I'll be managing when I leave this place.
Now I'm pissed.
Listen to me. Calm down, Shinji.
hey now.
Sora's right. This isn't the first time Shobai's like that. Just ignore him like we do with Mikado.
Huh? But wait.
Wait, what does that mean? Oh, I think the reason why it clicks through his dialogue by itself, I think is because they're all just ignoring him and they're just not paying attention. That's why it clicks through it without me doing it. But I just can't stand that kind of attitude.
Hey,
Shinji, class trials require a cool head and a clear mind. You should never, ever act emotionally and irrationally in them.
Okay.
Right. If everyone says so, I'll calm down. Teria, finally you feel like a true mentor. For some reason, before I read it, I read mentor as mother. I'm like, why is he like the mom of the group? Maybe?
what are you saying?
Is that a compliment?
Despite some students choosing to be tardy, it's time to finally get things started. Is everyone ready? Everyone, please enter the elevator in front of you to join the class trial. I'll be waiting for you there.
So it's starting again. I'm scared.
Listen,
Don't worry. We've all got to face this together. And we did what we could. We need to end this by discussing what we found.
Yes.
Yeah. When the trial ends, at least one of us won't be here. Won't be coming back up here again. Yeah. You guys are right. I said I'm gonna trust you guys again. It's because I trust you. And I suspect you. To find the culprit and survive with everyone. Sis, I said you should leave it to me.
Everyone.
Guys, I have a favor to ask of you. It might sound out of place, but I really liked Kokoro. At first, I just wanted to talk to her, but she listened to me, and my heart. I want to find... No, I will find the heartless monster who killed her.
Please.
Please lend me your strength, that I can see to it she rests in peace.
It's fine.
No need to be so formal. We all feel the same.
All right.
Yep. If we think positively, we can go through anything.
How awkward.
Well, in all seriousness, if we don't do this, we'll end up being dead meat anyways. Don't you dare interrupt this touching moment, Mikado. Emma, if Kokoro didn't die, she would definitely have joined us in the end. Because you were there for her.
Yikes.
It's a bit late for that now, though.
Now then.
Thank you, everyone.
We can't give up.
Now then, let's put an end to this. As Emma said, we all feel the same. Well, most of us at least. We were able to solve through the last trial when it seemed impossible. We can do it again. That's what we're going to believe. Okay. Alright, let's go. Here goes nothing. I have no idea who it could possibly be. Just like the last time, the elevator made an unnerving sound and slowly but surely made its way to the underground. Everyone stayed deadly quiet, as if we'd silently agreed to. It was like there was now an unspoken rule that the elevator was a place to silently ready your hearts. The elevator descends relentlessly as we ponder these thoughts, until it finally stops and the doors open. What's different?
Hello there.
You've arrived. I've been waiting.
Hey!
Hey, why does this place look different from last time? It'd be boring if it's always the same, right? So, for your amusement, I changed up the design.
What the hell?
Amusement? Just how in the world is any of this amusing?
Very well.
Well then, please take your place where your name is written.
I wish you luck.
You've done this once, so you all know how it goes, right? Now, let's begin. A death game with your lives on the line. The second class trial. To say we'd be calmer after doing this once before would definitely be a lie. As Monocro said, it's our lives on the line. I'm afraid, nervous. Heck, we all are. But Kokoro must have been much more afraid. It must have been scary and painful. Though it hurt to lose Yuri, Kokoro was much closer to us, personally. Everyone, not just Emma, is in rage. And if we don't find the culprit, we all die. We have to find who did it. To avenge Kokoro's death. To survive. Time won't wait for us, and it's finally starting. A trial of life and death. A trial of truth and lies. A trial of trust and betrayal. A trial of fact and fiction. A trial of pleas and excuses. A trial of friends and foes. Oh, they added Teria in there. A trial like no other. The class trial. Would you like to save? Yes, please. Alright, let's see what skills I have. I want this spoiler alert that we got from Nikkei. Okay. Okay, that's all we can really do. Alright, we'll go back. Let's go. Let's begin. I want to find out who did it.
Firstly, allow me to briefly explain the rules of this class trial. The results of the class trial will be decided solely by your votes. If you manage to correctly identify the blackened, only they will receive punishment. But should you vote incorrectly, everyone except for the blackened will be punished, and they will be able to escape this field trip of mutual killing.
I hoped we'd never end up here again. But we're here now, and there's no turning back. We've got no choice but to solve this. Together, we'll get through this mess.
Now then, you may begin at your discretion.
So we're looking for the person who killed Kokoro.
Where are we even supposed to start? I'm already totally lost.
If you would all be so kind as to lend me your ears, there is something I must tell you before we begin.
I don't have a clue what happened, honestly.
They're just ignoring him.
Please don't ignore me.
You've got some nerve talking to us, Mikado.
Is it just me? Or is my existence beginning to receive less and less acknowledgement?
I mean, what does he expect?
I've said this before, yet it seems I have no choice but to repeat myself. Although you may ignore me in everyday life, it would be unwise to ignore me during trials. I, for one, did my fair share of investigation, and it would do me no greater joy than to assist you all in the solving of this case.
Leave us alone, will you?
Altaria.
No, he has a point. We probably should listen to Mikado.
Are you sure that's okay?
It's not like Mikado can afford to let us lose the class trial, considering all our lives, his included, are on the line. Every testimony is important, even if it's coming from a loser like him or a liar like Shobai.
Ah, you're something else, Miss Sora.
But more importantly, he could be the blackened. And even if he's nothing but an ugly, worthless piece of scum who's no better than a rotting piece of inedible garbage, there's the smallest chance he might have found an important piece of evidence.
Oh my god, she's savage.
Oh dear, my poor broken heart.
If Sora says so, then I guess it's fine.
Seeing that it's come to this, I present to you all my ultimate piece of evidence which will undoubtedly restore your valued trust in me.
Ultimate piece of evidence? What, did you already solve it?
Well, no, not yet. But
Shut up already! We can't afford to get off track!
Yeah, like Rara said, I guess we shouldn't completely ignore him. But I doubt he'll be of any use, so... let's just keep going for now, okay? Starting from the top, I think we should go over everything we know so far. That's what Coco would have done.
Yeah. Without Koro, we have nobody to rely on but ourselves. Don't worry, sis. I'm here for you.
Cheer up, you guys. We can do this. For Kokoro.
She seems way too calm and collected. Maybe it's just because she's an actress, but I don't know.
Alrighty then. So, what we know about the case so far? Let's see.
I mean, it's easier said than done. I'm not even sure how we're supposed to start.
Why don't we talk about what everyone was doing before we discovered the body?
Just like last time, it looks like we're starting by going over what we know so far. I still don't have a clue who the killer is. With a little cooperation, we should be able to figure that out. The minigame non-stop debate. Yeah, please give me... I'm not gonna say no anymore. I mean, is it gonna be the same thing over and over again? The upper left corner. Okay, this is the same explanation that we got in the last one. Press shift to change the loaded truth bullet. If you successfully refute an argument with the correct truth bullet, a cut-in will appear and your score will be calculated before advancing into the next phase. You'll fail. Focus gauge, influence gauge, arrow key, blah blah blah. Okay, it's just one. Whew. That's good.
So, we found the dead body right around lunchtime. Sora, Teruya, and I went to Kokoro's room to bring her lunch like always.
But Kokoro didn't answer. So naturally, we started to get worried.
And that's when I heard you guys and came over, right? Once you guys told me what was going on, I went and got Monoko to open the door for us.
Yes.
And when we went in, Kokoro was...
That would mean that Kokoro died around lunchtime. We should go over our alibis for around noon then.
No, that's not the case at all. Alright, I know which one I have to do.
So, we found Sora, Teruya,
But Kokoro didn't answer, so naturally.
And that's when once you guys told me what was going on.
and when we went in, Kokoro was...
That would mean that Kokoro died around lunchtime.
No, that's wrong!
Save. I'm always gonna save in between each of these things.
No, Shinju. We can't be sure of that.
Well, why not?
Just because we found the body during lunchtime doesn't mean Kokoro died around that time. Even the Monocro file says so. The time of death is unknown.
Speaking of which, the Monocro file this time around isn't very helpful, is it?
Nope.
Probably because she was frozen. Even professionals have a hard time determining the time of death when it comes to frozen bodies. But if the time of death is unknown, then doesn't that mean that there's still a chance she really did die around lunchtime?
I suppose we can't rule out the possibility, but it's probably pretty low.
Then I guess we should be talking about when Kokoro really died.
Wait, do we really need to? I thought it was obvious who the killer was.
Huh?
Wait, what? Nikkei, you already figured it out?
Who is it? Who's the Blackened?
Yoriko Kabuya. Need I say more?
Oh my god, they're going back. You're going back to attack my girl? What the heck?
Huh?
Yoriko's the culprit.
Wait, not this again. Why am I always the one getting pinned for this stuff?
But aren't you the one who brought Kokoro breakfast? If she was dead by lunchtime, then it sounds to me like that's the only opening for someone to get a stab at her.
No.
What?
He certainly has a point. If she was alive during the breakfast visit, but dead by the time Miss Sora's assemblage stopped by, then obviously whichever group was the last to check in to deliver breakfast is the most suspicious. And what do you know? That would be none other than Miss Kabuya.
Wait, but I was with Teruya the entire time. How do you possibly expect me to kill her with someone else there?
She's right. The whole point of me joining every visit was to make sure nobody'd try and take advantage of Kokoro's vulnerability.
So that'd mean you're in the same boat.
What?
You're implying he served as our accomplice?
Yeah, right.
But there isn't even any benefit to working as an accomplice. And we know Teruya isn't a void, so he's got no reason to kill anyone in the first place.
Can we really be so sure about that? Yeah, the chances of him being a void are low.
Nikkei, I think you're a void.
But it's not like they're zero. Remember, Mikado of all people was the one who brought him here. To be honest, I always thought the whole, yeah, let's just put all our trust in a total stranger thing was ridiculous.
I mean, then again, I see that point he's making as well.
That's insane! I was kidnapped!
You're one to talk, Nikkei. Constantly accusing others doesn't automatically make you innocent.
Fine, then let's turn this around. If it wasn't those two working together, then when is the murder possibly supposed to have taken place?
At nighttime.
Sure, there isn't any incentive for accomplices, but Monocro didn't outright deny the possibility.
You... Guys, say something.
Yuko, I know how you feel, but he does have a point.
What?
We need to discuss this more, but...
Uh-oh. Considering the order of people that have visited Kokoro, it makes sense for people to be suspicious of Teruya and Yoriko. But we need to talk about it more before deciding anything. More non-stop debates.
Why are you guys suspecting me again?
Considering the order, that breakfast visit was the only possible window for murder.
I was with her, and she didn't do anything suspicious.
Like Nick said, there is a possibility of you two being accomplices.
Miss Mitsume ate her meals up until last night. The body was found this lunch. So if something happened to Miss Mitsume, it would have been during this morning.
These two also don't have alibis in the first place. As it stands, there are two prime suspects.
I don't know. Didn't I have the skill that was supposed to tell me which ones I'm supposed to do? Are Teruya and Yoriko really the culprits? I need to present evidence to show their innocence.
Why are you guys suspecting me again?
Considering the order,
Alright, I have no idea.
Miss Mitsume ate her meals up until last night, so if something happened to Miss Mitsume...
these two also don't have alibis in the first place. As it stands,
No, that's wrong!
Okay. That's what I thought it was, but... I'm gonna save... and go back.
Sorry, Nikkei, but I won't let you badger Yoriko again like this.
Sora.
Oh,
Yoriko has an alibi. After the trip with Teruya, she went straight to the village to practice cooking.
Yeah, when there was no answer, we left the meal on her doorstep. As soon as that was done, she told me she was gonna continue practicing her cooking at the village.
you got any evidence to back that up?
Well, I did meet a few on the way there. Huh, I saw her. You were cooking some stew, right?
There are plenty of witnesses, Nikkei. If what Yoriko says is true, then there would have been no time for murder.
Alright, then we can excuse Yoriko. But what about Teruya? He entered Kokoro's room every visit. There could have been plenty of chances for him to kill her.
yeah, right.
Kokoro said she'd only open the door when 2 or more people came to visit her. Thus, under normal circumstances, if anyone entered Kokoro's room to kill her, then we're dealing with more than one culprit.
Unless... hear me out. Unless she trusted the person who did it and let them in by themselves. But the only person I could think she would do that is Emma. Because, like, while she was kind of, like, iffy about her the whole time, she warmed up to her eventually. I don't know.
Now that Yoriko's alibi has been confirmed, it would have been impossible for Teruya to kill Kokoro on his own. Thus, the theory of Yoriko and Teruya being accomplices is disproven.
Your argument is full of gaps.
Oh no. The argument.
No, that alone isn't going to suffice as a valid alibi. The evidence in Kokoro's room supports that. Sorry, but as a journalist, it's my job's instinct to pursue every last detail of what I find suspicious. Allow me to present you with this evidence. Let's see if you can retaliate against the ultimate journalist's latest scoop.
I'm gonna hear the explanation because I forgot how to do it. Press S to shoot the words down. Failing to hit lines depletes the gauge at the top of the screen. 5 lanes, you may switch. Opponent's arguments will disappear within 1 to 3 seconds after the appearance and inflict damage. If you fail, shoot them. Blah blah. You'll take double the damage if the rebuttal gauge is in your opponent's favor, so do your best not to miss shooting any of their arguments. Sora will have a chance to say her counter argument as the rebuttal proceeds. Select the appropriate arrow. Okay, I think I remember how to do this one. Okay, let's go. Balcony refrigerator, Setsuka's account.
So, after delivering breakfast, Yoriko went to the village. That much I could understand, but she could have easily killed her then and there before fleeing soon after. She visited Kokoro with Teruya with an intent to kill him. Then she split so that she'd have a witness for her alibi.
You saw the state of the body, didn't you? It was frozen solid. Could Yoriko have done such a feat in such a short span of time? It'd be impossible for Yoriko to do that and immediately leave for the village.
Nope. There's a way that she could have frozen Kokoro instantly. Her rune says it all. She used liquid nitrogen. If she killed Kokoro, then poured liquid nitrogen over her, her body would freeze instantly. And there you have it. Outright.
Yoriko really did kill Kokoro. She'd have needed to be incredibly swift with the task.
I'll pierce through those words.
Oh my god, why is that so hard? I struggled quite a lot. Oh my goodness, why is it so difficult for me? Anyway, I'm gonna save so I don't have to do it again.
No, that doesn't add up. There's no way Yoriko used liquid nitrogen to freeze Kokoro.
What are you talking about? We all saw an empty container of it in her room, plain as day.
If she really used that to freeze Kokoro, then there should have been traces left behind in the room. But other than her corpse, we didn't find a single trace of anything else being frozen. Right, Setsuka?
Yup. No traces mean that the liquid nitrogen was probably never used.
Then why was it empty?
Maybe she could have frozen Koro in some other room before bringing her back in?
That had taken a Nikke's proposition was that the crime could have
Sorry.
been done within a short amount of time. If Yoriko, our supposed murderer, had taken time moving the body like that,
Wait,
then it would be impossible to arrive at the village as early as she did.
thinking about the wig that was in the museum, it had those remnants of something on it. Was that from the liquid nitrogen?
So Yoriko and Teruya are innocent? That's what I've been saying since the start.
I know that from an opportunity standpoint, we're suspicious. But don't you think you're being a bit cruel, Nikke?
Hey, what's with that attitude, Nikke? You owe these two an apology!
Now, fighting won't get us anywhere. Since Raro's cleared up our suspicion on Terry and Yuko, let's get back to the case.
If not for freezing, then what was the liquid nitrogen for? After all, since we found the container in her room, we can easily assume it must have been used for something, correct?
No, that's probably a red herring.
A red herring? But the label on the drum clearly said liquid nitrogen on it.
Right. The label, but nothing else.
No, that's true.
I'm saying that they probably just stuck that label onto an empty container. Look at it closer.
It's a good point, just to throw them all off.
It's slanted, slightly, as if hastily slapped on. I'm willing to bet there was never any liquid nitrogen inside that container at all. Wait, then how did Kokoro get frozen?
She was put in the refrigerator.
It must be the Yukiona's curse after all! There's no other way that a person would suddenly freeze!
Of course it's not because of the curse. But still, to freeze someone so thoroughly? There must have been a tool inside her room to help freeze things, and that tool must be... I'm pretty sure I remember how to do it, so I'm gonna just start. It's a refrigerator. Uh-oh. E, F. I see the E and the F's. Uh-oh, am I supposed to see them all at the same time? That's impossible.
I see.
God. That was hard. I had to cheat. I had to take a picture of it and look at it. I'm sorry. I cheated. I don't care. That was too long of a word to not show the letters again. That was kind of ridiculous. Anyway. I cheated. I don't care.
It's probably the refrigerator.
The refrigerator? The culprit froze Kokoro with the refrigerator?
Well, excluding the liquid nitrogen, it's the only thing left capable of freezing someone. But
Is there any proof that the refrigerator was used?
Yeah, the little divider. Proof that the refrigerator was used to freeze Kokoro. I wonder if that's where this comes into play.
Got it. I noticed the refrigerator divider in Kokoro's room was a bit loose. Perhaps it's because the culprit had taken the divider out to fit Kokoro in, then placed it back when she'd been frozen.
Miss Mitsume is quite small, so if they squeezed her right in, I'm sure that she'd fit rather nicely.
Squeeze in? Watch your words. There's also the fact that her refrigerator was set to instant freeze mode. For those of you who've used that setting, I'm sure you can agree it's definitely powerful enough to freeze a human being.
Wait, even if the output was set to instant freeze, there's a big difference between freezing some leftovers and freezing a whole human being.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure she was in there from nighttime until morning. I don't know though.
We're not talking about mild frostbite here. The monochrome file says that she was frozen to the point where all her cells suffered from necrosis.
Like, she was in there for a long time, obviously, because she left a message in there.
If she was frozen that badly, that means the culprit must have left her in for at least a whole day.
Huh? Wait, that means Coco would have been in there since yesterday's lunchtime.
Yuki, when you were there with me and Tsuruya delivering Kokoro her meal, there was no answer, right?
Yeah, but Noriko said that the dinner was gone that night.
That doesn't make sense. Maybe Ruko is lying? Why would I lie about something like that?
If your refrigerator theory is correct, that means Kokoro should have been inside the refrigerator last supper.
I swear, if Yoriko really is the culprit...
Wait,
She's not.
Hold your horses. Yoriko never visited Kokoro yesterday, so she wouldn't have had the chance to enter her room.
Then who delivered breakfast yesterday?
Me, Roha, and Teria.
And you met up with Kokoro?
Yup. We had a really nice chat with her. Kokoro even wrote on her iPad. Ah, those were the days.
That means she was alive up until that point, at least.
Who was there for lunch?
Me, Kanade, Gigi, and Ruru.
And did you guys meet Kokoro?
Of course. She complained about 4 people being too many.
Wait, this is getting a bit too complicated. Can somebody summarize it?
What's Ruru again?
Roha, can you give me a piece of paper from your sketchbook?
Okay.
Okay. Day 1, the day before yesterday. Day 2. The last group to see her was Shinji, the twins, and Teruya. Well, Teruya's always there. I don't know.
If we summarize what we've discussed so far, this is our result.
Setsuka, your drawing's adorable. Oh, you drew such a good summary too.
I hereby dub you the Taking Notes Master. Or would it be Mistress? Miss Chiabukuro, which do you prefer?
I'd prefer it if you stopped focusing on the drawings and instead focused on the timeline of events.
Looking at this, we can confirm Kokoro hasn't answered her door since yesterday evening. That means something definitely happened between those 2 visits.
Does that mean the visitors right before then? Shinji, Teruya, and the twins are all one big culprit?
What? Why are we the culprits? And how would that even work?
I doubt that 4 people were accomplices. Especially when the chances of there being even one accomplice are close to 0.
But according to Yuki, that gap between lunch and dinner was the only period of time she could have been killed in.
Yeah, maybe someone came in between then. Someone she trusted and she let in.
Wait, that's impossible. Haven't we already discussed that the only time we could have entered her room was to deliver meals? That was a rule she personally set.
And I definitely saw her dinner had disappeared. So she couldn't have been dead by then, right?
But if Coco were still alive last night, there wouldn't have been enough time to freeze her.
I have no idea what we're talking about anymore.
According to this theory, none of us could have killed Kokoro. To even get close to her, they obviously needed to first enter her room, and if it wasn't during our visits... Admittedly, I think the refrigerator is the root of this problem. Determining how one would have access to it is what's brought us to a dead end.
No, it must be the refrigerator. Considering the liquid nitrogen was just a red herring, it becomes the only tool capable of freezing Kokoro. There is no alternative.
But if we could have only entered her room during lunchtime, then...
Damn, this really is a locked room mystery.
This is hard. Can I use a hint coin?
I still don't know what we just discussed.
I got it! It's the Yukiona!
Oh my god.
Monocro, we need to stop the trial right now before it's too late! This isn't a murder, it's a curse!
Oh jeez.
And the class trial, you say? I don't mind at all, but I assume that means you've given up on finding the culprit.
Well, that's not... I mean, does a culprit exist in the first place? Seems like it's impossible for everyone, so...
Is there anything that could point us towards the culprit? We just need a small push in the right direction.
Guess I gotta help you out.
Okay.
The culprit exists.
Okay, so we're gonna have to agree with Kanade.
This is a case where if you think about the method first, it's more difficult. So, let's put the method aside for now and focus on the culprit's identity first. The evidence pointing towards the culprit. You already know, Sora.
The dying message.
I know you have what it takes to solve this. And don't worry, I'll help you out.
I'm gonna hear the explanation because I don't really remember. Classmates working to help you reach the right conclusion, avoid their words in white, and collect the blue tree bullets. There are 5 lines similar to the rebuttal showdown, and you can use the up and down arrow keys to switch lines. Your supporter will say their argument point by point, and your task is to avoid contact with their white statements. You will suffer damage when the midpoint of a comment in your line passes the vertical line on the right. On the other hand, the blue truth bullets that appear in the midst of the comments should be collected. Unlike white text, you will take damage for failing to collect them instead. You must then choose the most appropriate truth bullet for the presentation. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the dying message, right?
The murder method is still a mystery. But there was a clue pointing towards the culprit at the crime scene, Kokoro's final moments. The final clue that Kokoro left with her dying breaths. That clue clearly points out the real culprit. You remember now, right, Sora?
It's the dying message.
I agree with that. That's it. The dying message.
I still don't know what the dying message said. Like, cause at first, the icicles, the way they were arranged, it kind of looked like katakana, kind of how it was in the second trial of the first game, where Kizuna wrote Meido, and she wrote that in katakana. So that's what it kind of reminded me of. But then they started talking about there were letters on the icicles, which I didn't really understand, so I still don't really know what her dying message means.
The dying message that Kokoro had left. If we decipher that, we can figure out who the culprit is.
Bingo! Well done, Sora.
I can't help but feel like Kanade is kind of like she's smiling and she's got this kind voice, but it kind of feels like she's talking down to you. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, I like her. I like the twins. Kanade scares me the most out of the two of them, because I don't know, she changes a lot once a murder happens.
The dying what now?
The dying message. You usually see victims leave them behind right before they die, hinting towards their killer's identity. But Rara, you're saying Coco left one herself?
Yes, the icicles inside the refrigerator.
You see, it looks like Japanese, right? I could be wrong. I can read very few. I could read a little bit of hiragana, but I can't read it very well.
They look like normal icicles, but if you look closely, there are letters written on each one. It looks like someone carved them with their nails, presumably Kokoro's.
Oh, she carved it with her nail.
What? F-O?
F-O. I just see F's, O's, and maybe they mentioned a U at one point, right?
Look, two of them are stuck together. It looks like the bigger one is penetrating the smaller one.
So the icicles killed Kokoro? I don't...
Oh, Shinji. Oh, poor, sweet, innocent Shinji. I can't.
Aren't dying messages supposed to be something obvious? This feels more like some secret code or something. It's actually rather simple. I've already figured out the culprit by using this.
I haven't. So, Kanade, can you please share? Because I have no idea who it could be.
What? Kanade, you know who the culprit is?
Who is it?
Instead of outright telling you, let me explain through this dying message.
But we don't know what it means.
Miss Kanade, we are inclined to hear your explanation.
Of course. Once you learn the identity of the killer, the method should come naturally. Now, while these initially look like a random series of icicles, the important thing to note is that there are exactly 8 of them. Furthermore, the letters F and O have been carved into each end of them. 6 of them stand separately. But like Nikkei pointed out, one has penetrated another, conjoining the two. And that specific icicle is different from the others. Instead of O, it has the letter I carved into it.
Okay, like she's explaining it, but I still don't get it.
Okay. So... F stands for female.
Huh?
There are 8 icicles and 8 of us.
So it's a girl? Is that what she's saying? It's a girl who killed her?
O stands for others.
What? How did she get that? What?
Ah, so I literally stands for I, as in myself?
That seems kind of weird for a dying message. I don't know. I mean, I know Kokoro was very... She was very smart, right? And the reason she was killed is because she was a threat to the Voids. I understand that. But, like, the dying message, the female and others, is kind of weird to me. I don't know.
Yup. I guess you aren't as stupid as you look, Yuki. With the rest all having O on them, one of the remaining 7 can be seen penetrating I. Considering that it was Kokoro who made this, I will represent herself. Meaning we can interpret this message to mean, one of the 7 girls killed me.
Whoa, so the culprit is a female?
Alright, so we know their gender. So what? This alone doesn't pinpoint the culprit at all. It just tells us that the killer is a girl.
Well, if you'd let me finish, Nikkei, I was about to say we can take one step further to deduce the killer's identity as well.
What do you mean?
Look carefully at the icicles. It's easy to overlook, but...
Wait.
The O icicle that penetrated the I icicle is significantly longer
Wait.
than the other ones.
Wait. Okay. I wish they'd show me the picture again. Like, the 2 little icicles, those are the twins. Is that what she's saying? Like, each icicle represents a person? It's like the 2 little ones, those are the twins that look exactly the same. The big one is a tall female. Emma?
Uh-oh. But didn't we just deduce that these icicles were us girls? If one's taller than the rest, wouldn't it make sense for their length to be analogous to our heights?
Like, this is what I don't understand. Okay, listen. I know Kokoro was very smart, but while she was freezing to death, would she have thought of something so metaphorical? You know, because like freezing to death, extremely painful. I can't even imagine. Like, wouldn't she make it less ambiguous? I don't know.
We don't even know what that word means.
One moment, Miss Kanade. Are you proposing that the tallest female present is our killer?
Huh? That's the solution to the dying message? I don't know. It seems kind of easy to me. Well, not easy, but... I don't know. I still think the dying message looks like katakana. That would mean she's the culprit? Oh, but I'm selecting someone. Is it Emma?
It can only be you. The tallest out of the female students. That's Emma Magarobi. Are you the killer? What?
But... Oh, man. I'm suspended. I'm going right back in. But, like, she was, like, trying to be so close to her. Like, that's what I don't understand, right? Can I make sure that my things are equipped in here? Like, This is equipped, so highlights the key words of the opponent's argument during scrum debates. Which one's the scrum debate? Anyway. I'm gonna go back in. But like... Emma was always like, oh, let's be friends. But then again, she's the ultimate actress, isn't she? So she could have easily faked that she wanted to be her friend. And the whole thing started at the concert when and Kokoro was with Emma the whole time. She had her by the arm the entire time. She could have done something, slipped her something, injected her with something. I don't know. Oh man, I'm going back in. Yes.
Emma, the person that the dying message is referring to, it has to be you.
What?
Huh? Sora, have you forgotten who Emma is? Why would she, of all people, kill Kokoro?
I don't know exactly. I just solved the dying message just like Kanade told me to.
But wouldn't that be smart of her to do? If she had done it, no one would suspect her because she was the closest to Kokoro, right? And again, like I said before, it's very possible that Kokoro could have let Emma into the room in between meals because she trusted her as well. So like she could have been killed. It didn't have to necessarily be at the mealtime, you know?
If the tallest person out of the girls is the culprit, then that would be Emma, right?
Yeah, but still.
Sora, how could you? Losing Kokoro was painful enough, yet I'm desperately trying to find our killer.
Are you though? She doesn't seem very desperate. Like she's hardly talked this whole trial. She's hardly said anything. It doesn't seem like someone who's desperate to find out who the killer is to me.
And you have the nerve to say I killed her? That's crossing the line. If this is some sick and twisted joke, let me make it clear to you that I'm not laughing.
Rara, even if the dying message coincides with M's height, don't you think this is a bit... I mean, it was no secret Im regarded Coco as her best friend. You saw how upset she was when we found her body.
Yeah, sorry Sora, but I can't get behind that. This feels more coincidental than incriminating.
Maybe our interpretation of the dying message was just wrong?
Seriously? Are you all really that stupid?
Whoa! Dial down the aggression a bit, huh?
My interpretation is 100% accurate. Didn't I just say that once we determine the culprit's identity, the rest falls into place? Trust me, if you assume Emma's the killer, this case becomes much simpler.
I mean, she has a point, because like thinking about it, it does become a little bit simpler. Kokoro trusted her. She would have let her in by herself outside of the designated meal times.
Kanade, I know you think you're helping, but I assure you
Yeah, come on, Kanade. You're being mean to Emmy. There's no way that Emmy would ever... Sister? How about shutting the hell up while I'm talking?
Oh my god. See, she's scary. Look at her face. She's terrifying.
If you don't plan on being useful, be a good sister and stay out the way, okay?
Ooh.
Kanade?
I'd be like, okay.
Oh, it seems to me that Miss Kanade has already solved the case.
I don't know. Are we sure about that? Looks to me like Miss Little Sis is getting a bit deluded.
Look at her face. She's terrifying.
Deluded? Oh, you poor naive chump. Kanade, what's wrong? Oh, Sora.
No, nope. Now she's singing. I don't like it. Nope. Goodbye.
Yes?
You alone believed my reasoning, right? Since these gaggle of imbeciles can't tell the difference between their asses from their elbows, why don't you try figuring out how Emma did all this? If you're lost, I can give you a hint. Emma's talent, her ultimate talent, is the key to this.
See, that's what I figured too. She's the ultimate actress, right? She could just be acting the whole time. She could be a void. Right? Wait. At the beginning of this chapter, the voids were all talking, and one of them said, I'll keep an eye on her. I have the perfect talent for it. At first, I really thought that was Nikkei, because he's the journalist. I still think he's suspicious. I'm still suspicious of him. But because I assumed the her was Sora, but the her could have been Kokoro, and the one talking could have been Emma, using her ultimate actress ability to become her friend and earn her trust. It's possible, right? Emma's talent? Well, I hate to admit it, Kanade's logic has been sound so far. I guess I've got no choice but to entertain her theory. I mean, she really is making sense. Like, she terrifies me, but she is making a lot of sense. And I'm starting to believe her a little bit. She said that the method will become clear once we determine the killer's identity. So what is it about Emma that would answer all these questions? I need to focus. Logic craft is about to begin. I don't remember this one. What's this one? Oh, this is new. Okay. In the logic craft, you must straighten the entangled thoughts inside your brain. Press and hold Z to move up, let go to move down. Running into too many obstacles will result in a point penalty. Oops. You will encounter colored blocks coming from the right during your flight, and your objective is to reach the end without colliding with them. Your spaceship will move upward while you are pressing Z. With no input, the ship will descend on its own. Hitting a block will damage your shield, as reflected on the gauge on the left. The shield has 5 hit points. If it's damaged beyond that, there will be a penalty to your score, as well as a decrement in your focus gauge. Furthermore, you must attempt the stage from the beginning. If your focus gauge is fully depleted, your influence gauge will take damage instead, and you must start over the entire minigame. Okay. Each block inflicts a different amount of damage. Green or 1, yellow or 2, red will kill you instantly. The cyan blocks lining the top and bottom of the screen will also inflict 1 damage when you get in contact with them. Oh, okay, so I can't just go all the way down and stay there. If you reach the end of the stage, you will be given a question with 3 answer choices. Oh, so this is kind of like in the second game with when Hajime was kind of surfing. It's like that one. Okay. Wait there for 7 seconds. If your answer is correct, we'll move on to the next stage. Okay, I get it. Make it through 3 stages and 3 questions. Alright, okay. Oh, look, she's so cute. Oh, it's going a lot fast. Ah! It's going a lot faster than I thought it was gonna go. Oops. This is hard. Oh my god. This is hard. Oh my god. Am I there? Like, this is... What is Emma's ultimate talent? Okay, it's the ultimate actress. Okay, did my shields go back up? Okay, good. Here we go again. What does the ultimate actress do? She acts? Hello? Why do I need to do this logic game for this? Again, this is... like, hello? Darn it. Oh, thank God. What is the ultimate... if the ultimate act... what would that allow her to do if she's the culprit? Disguise as another person. That... the wig! The wig! The wig that was found in the... the wig! It took longer than I thought it would.
It all makes sense.
It's the wig. The wig with the debris on it. I'm gonna save and then go right back.
Emma's talent. With the talent of Ultimate Actress, wouldn't it be possible for her to act as someone else?
What do you mean?
Up until now, we'd written up this case as impossible, with no way of entering Kokoda's room and each of us having alibis for that period of time. However, one person did have access, Kokoda herself. But what if the Kokoda we met was in fact not the actual Kokoda?
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, same. What?
What if Emma was disguised as Kokoda?
The whole time? I'm so confused. That makes no sense. The one that they met? Wait. 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 Okay. She could have been disguised as her with the not being able to talk. Right? She could have been disguised as her since she couldn't talk anyway. She could have been disguised as her and Kokoro could have been in the fridge. While they were in there. They were in there bringing Kokoro food and they thought they were bringing her food. They thought she was there, but it was actually Emma and the real Kokoro was in the fridge. Does that make any sense? I don't know if that makes any sense.
And if the real Kokoda was already dead, then suddenly the murder becomes much more possible.
That's...
You mean the Kokoro we've been meeting with all this time was actually Emma? But...
She couldn't walk, she couldn't talk. If she couldn't talk, it's quite obvious that it could have been Emma, because she didn't have to use her voice. She could have very well been killed the night of the concert, right? She was knocked unconscious and then brought back to the room. Who brought her back again? Can't remember. Someone brought her back, and that's when Emma could have put her in the fridge and left her there for like however many days and then brought her out. Ooh.
Sora, first you besmirch my friendship. Now you wish to besmirch my talent, too.
No, it's not.
What's your deal? Why are you suddenly hell-bent on making me this evil psychopath?
Calm down, Em. I know how you feel, but...
Calm down? I just lost my best friend, and yet Sora thinks it's okay to suggest I was the one who killed her?
Yeah, I think...
No, I think I'm entitled to feel a little betrayed. All I want is to let Kokoro rest in peace. And yet...
No, I didn't mean to.
Sora, don't you think you're going a bit too far with this?
Yeah, I honestly can't see Emma killing Kokoro. It just wouldn't make any sense. Let's retrace our steps and go back over what we know. Maybe Kanade made a mistake somewhere.
Me? Made a mistake?
Who are you, Kazuichi? Oh god, she's terrifying.
What a disappointment. I never expected you all to share a single-digit IQ like my sister. To think I could easily die if you half-wits vote wrong. Disgusting.
You! How dare!
Strange. I could have sworn I told you to be quiet, Hibiki. Let Kanade do all the work and solve this case. Can you not even understand something as simple as that?
She's terrifying.
Always so useless. Can't do anything yourself. Always relying on me to clean up your shit. You should know your place by now.
Kanade! Why? You're so scary. Okay. Ignoring the nightmare fuel for a second. I also kind of think it's unfair to accuse Emma as a killer just because some icicles in her love of acting.
No. I'll believe Kanade and Sora's reasoning.
Thank you, Yuki. I love you, Yuki.
Oh, me too, me too. That speech was so moving it lit a fire within my heart.
Oh, jeez.
Too much. This is all too much.
Oh ho! Simmer down, everyone, simmer down. The class trial room is a sacred place where the only permitted battles are ones of wit. Thus, any conflict must be resolved through a formal debate.
Oh, it's gonna be that, double debate thing. I don't want to suspect Emma, but this case cannot be solved unless Kanade is right. First things first, I need to listen to everyone's arguments and find the holes in their logic. Alright, the scrum debate, okay. So this is, yeah, this is this is the one that I have the Nikkei skill for. I thought it meant like the actual debate, it's this debate. Okay, Team Solar, Team Lunar. I think I remember how to play this one. Okay. Okay, alright, let's do it. Okay, so it's Sora, Yuki, the twins. Teria, why are you not on my side? You're on the wrong team. Impossible versus possible.
We were always together, so I had no time to disguise myself.
Kanade!
How can you say always when you weren't with us the whole 24 hours?
Yuki.
Oops.
Couldn't even hear
I'm sorry.
Kokoro's voice thanks to the disease. That's
Nope,
not
that
a
was
problem.
wrong. I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong one.
The Kokoro we met is definitely the real Kokoro.
This one's mine. To act is her ultimate talent, isn't it?
I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Even if she had perfectly imitated the appearance, she couldn't have imitated her voice. Kokoro and Emma have different heights. Wouldn't it be hard to disguise with one another?
This one's mine. Kokoro didn't get out of bed. We had no chance of checking her height.
I'm sorry. I messed it up.
So, this case isn't closed without a way to enter her room.
Mikado!
The way to enter a room may exist, just yet to be discovered.
Alright, I'm sorry. I clicked the wrong one by accident. And Shobai's here, but he's like not
We
even
were
speaking.
always together, so I had no time to disguise myself.
Kanade!
How can you say always when you work with us the whole 24 hours?
If M's the killer, there's no need for something as complex as a disguise.
Kanade!
If you all hear my reasoning, then you'll understand why she had to use a disguise.
The Kokoro we met was definitely the real Kokoro. Wouldn't it be tough to act like somebody else so perfectly?
This one's mine! To act is her ultimate talent, isn't it?
What?
Kokoro and Emma have different heights. Wouldn't it be hard to disguise as one another?
This one's mine!
I wanted to
Kokoro
hear the
didn't get
whole
out of
the whole
bed.
thing that he said,
Had
and
no
now
chance of
I
checking
ruined
her
it. I'm
height.
sorry.
Even so, this case isn't closed without a way to enter her room.
Mikado!
The way to enter her room may exist, just yet to be discovered.
I'm sorry. I gotta do it again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look at me being so
We were
annoying.
always together, so I had no time to disguise myself.
Kanade!
How can you say always when you work with us the whole 24 hours?
If M's the killer, there's no need for something as complex as a disguise.
Kanade!
If you all hear my reasoning, then you'll understand why she had to use a disguise.
The Kokoro we met.
This one's mine! To act is her ultimate talent, isn't it?
Even if she had perfectly imitated the appearance, she couldn't have imitated her voice.
Yuki, we couldn't even hear Kokoro's voice thanks to the disease. That's not a problem.
Kokoro and Emma have different heights.
This one's mine! Kokoro didn't get out of bed. We had no chance of checking her height.
Even so, this
Mikado!
The way to enter her room may exist, just yet to be discovered.
S.
This is our answer!
That was my fault. Why'd I have to do that 3 times? Ugh. Even though I had the... Oh, I'm so mad at myself. Anyway, sorry about that. I was just trying to listen to what they were all saying. I wanted to hear it.
Wait. We're just going in circles here. We won't make any progress like this.
So it's definitely 100% possible that she was killed the night of the concert. She was stuffed into the refrigerator, and that whole time when she was in the bed with the quote disease, she was Emma. But then wouldn't Shobai have noticed? Because he helped her, right? He nursed her or whatever. He would have noticed. Unless he knows he's just purposely not saying anything.
Oh, people. I never expected you to be this cruel, Sora.
Why are we even still discussing this? If my reasoning's sound, which it is, mind you, it becomes pretty obvious that Emma's tears are about as real as her fake-ass accent.
Anna, I know you're confident in your reasoning, but there's no need to be so rude.
Okay, fine. It doesn't seem like they're going to drop the topic, so I'll play along for now. Let's assume that the disguise is possible. So what? It doesn't matter how much one looks like another. Without a means of getting inside her room, Kanade's reasoning becomes entirely nonsensical.
She had a way if she was the one who took her back from the concert.
Girl's got a point. Only Kokoro could get inside her own room. Each dorm door could only be opened by its respective owner. That crafty crow created a contraption that not even the craziest of characters could coerce completely, correct? I'm pretty sure we were all told that back when this game started.
Yeah, right now we still haven't overcome the biggest obstacle of getting into her room.
Well, the killer had to have entered her room at least once before murdering her.
There were only 3 chances for us to enter her room.
You mean during the meal deliveries, right?
And after the concert, who brought her back? I can't remember. Oh my god, it's gonna drive me crazy.
Do you see now?
The notion of a disguise has caused our discussions to become circular.
Ergo, it might behoove us to disregard it.
What are you talking about, everyone? We definitely had the chance. Why? It was when we entered Kokoro's room without her permission, of course.
When she was unconscious.
You mean we entered her room without asking her permission?
Once again, Kanade seems to be one step ahead of us. Let's see where she's going with this. Oh, we're in a debate.
When do you mean we entered Kokoro's room without her permission? Have you forgotten? After our performance, when she suddenly collapsed. In order to gain admittance, we used her e-handbook plus to open the door.
Right. And we needed her fingerprints to unlock said e-handbook plus for it to work.
But Kokoro was still alive at that point. So what if we went inside?
What if somebody took advantage of the confusion and stole her e-handbook plus once inside? And what if they left the room with her e-handbook plus? Then after that, they could come and go whenever they wished.
I mean...
And you're suggesting that somebody is me?
Kanade's words make sense, but is that really the truth? The mystery of the locked room. There must be evidence related to this among what I found here during the investigation. Okay, so the balcony is the one I have to use, right?
No, that's wrong.
Why did that take me so long? Okay, yeah, I got a lot incorrect, thank you. I had a little bit of a struggle. That's okay. It's fine. Fine.
Hold on, Kanade. We can't know that for sure yet.
Excuse me?
I'll admit, it's true that if somebody had stolen Kokoro's e-handbook plus, they could have entered the room freely. That is, unless the auto power saving function was on.
Auto power saving function?
You mean the function that automatically turns off the e-handbook plus after it's left alone for a certain amount of time?
Even if somebody stole Kokoro's e-handbook plus, like Kanade suggests, if the e-handbook plus ever turned off, it'd be impossible to turn it back on again without Kokoro's input.
Couldn't the culprit have just kept touching it to ensure it never turned off?
That isn't possible. While you may be able to use the e-handbook pluses of your fellow students for mundane means, the auto power saving function shares the same recognition algorithm with turning your e-handbook plus on, which, as you all know, only reacts to the owner's fingerprints.
Why, you're just spouting long words that I don't understand!
Essentially, the e-handbook plus would power down unless Coco herself was touching it.
Unless they used her hands. They cut her hands off.
It's as everyone else says, Kanade. Without knowing that fact for certain, we cannot continue with your line of reasoning.
Oh my god, I can't. Look at that face.
Everyone, this may sound sudden, but can I ask you all something?
What is it now?
Iroha has continually insisted that Kokoro was killed by the Yukiona's curse, right? Yes? So? And what was it that made you think it was the curse? Because Yukiona is known to freeze the one she hates and take their hands and feet.
The culprit could have used her hand to work the e-handbook.
And that's what happened to Kokoro, right? That's right. Iroha came to that conclusion specifically because Kokoro's corpse was missing her hands and feet. Of course, she was also dumb enough to believe it was actually a curse to kill her, but... Who says I'm dumb? And just why are you bringing this up? You're not actually going to tell me you believe it was the curse too, are you? Hardly. But it begs the question, doesn't it? If it wasn't the curse, then why did the killer choose such a cumbersome method of murdering? To try and scare everyone? Wrong again, Hibiki. Please think before you talk. This is obviously a copycat crime, to give off the impression it was the curse. When in actuality, the killer had a specific reason to do this.
A copycat crime? What's that?
It's exactly how it sounds. The case was specifically set up to imitate a past crime. Kanade suggesting Kokuro's death was carried out in a way that mimics the legend of Yuki Onna.
But why would the killer do that?
It's obvious. It was to cover up the trick of this locked room murder. As Sora and Mikado have proven, Kokuro's e-handbook plus would only have responded to her own fingerprints. No matter how hard they tried, the built-in algorithms would have prevented the culprit from turning the e-handbook plus back on. So, what if the killer had Kokuro's fingerprints?
Eh?
I mean, she has a point. She's crazy. She's terrifying, but she has a point. I see. That must have been the reason why the killer did that to Kokoro. That evidence we found near Kokoro's body, that was nothing like Yuki Onna's curse.
Got it. You think they cut them off?
Yeah.
The killer cut off Kokoro's hands so they could easily have access to her fingerprints.
Cutting off the fingers to get the fingerprints?
But explain it, though. We all just thought it resembled elements of the Yuki Onna's curse. While in actuality, the culprit did it to get her fingerprints.
Hold on. You're seriously insinuating the killer carried around a severed hand just to turn on the e-handbook plus?
Yes.
How could such a feat be remotely possible?
I don't know, Emma, you tell me.
Not only would they have to hide it, but they'd also have to consider the blood and the smell.
Not to mention, if they just wanted her fingerprints, why did they also cut her feet off? Who said they carried all her hands and feet? All they needed was her fingerprint. A fingertip would have sufficed. Then why did they cut them all off?
Because if she was only missing one finger, it would have been much easier to infer that they were after a fingerprint. Besides, we only know the state of Coco's body post-discovery. It's possible the killer only carried a fingertip, then cut the rest off not long before we found her body to throw us off.
That was the dried blood stain on her bed. It was from taking the fingerprint. And they cut off the other part, the whole hands and the feet, after she was already frozen.
That's what you wanted to say, right, Kana?
Took you all long enough. Yes, that's exactly what I'm suggesting.
It's a theory, nothing more. There's no evidence suggesting such, nor would someone do such a laborious task just for one fingertip.
I mean, yeah, they could.
No, there is evidence. At the time of the body discovery, Kokoro's body had just begun to melt and bleed. But there was also a dried blood stain on the bed. At the time, it didn't make sense.
This is all moving so fast. What did the blood mean then?
It means she bled prior to us showing up. The dried bloodstain was left behind after the killer took her fingertip. Like Setsuka said, the imitation of the curse was nothing more than a red herring.
This second island had a great motif of Yuki Onna's tale. It makes sense the killer would use it to distract us all. Honestly, I tip my hat to you, dear killer.
So how about it? Are we now willing to agree it was possible to enter the room?
Yep.
Well, it certainly does explain how Emma could have entered Kokoro's room while disguised as her.
Oh, but wait, there's more. On the night Kokoro collapsed, the last one to come out of her room was... Magorobi. Okay, and?
That's when she was put in the fridge.
If she was the last to leave, she could have stolen the e-handbook plus without being noticed by anyone else.
Emma, you didn't, did you?
She did. It was Emma.
It's just as Kanade said. By determining the killer first and then retracing our steps with the information that gave us, we've been able to solve what we couldn't before.
Okay, so if we combine what we just learned with what we knew earlier, the killer swept her e-handbook plus while we were placing her in her room. Then, after everyone went to bed, they rushed back to Kokoro's room before the e-handbook plus switched off. It's possible that the real and fake Kokoro were swapped then too.
Yeah, she was put in the fridge that night, I'm convinced.
And then, to make sure that they had free reign to her e-handbook plus, they cut her finger off and locked her in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Oh, and that ties into the refrigerator trick we discussed.
Oh, sorry, hit the microphone.
How splendid. By working together, we've solved all the questions from earlier. Access to the locked room, the time needed to freeze the body, and the alibi issue.
One moment. Are we forgetting something? The school rules specifically state that losing your e-handbook plus is prohibited. If what you're suggesting is true, surely Kokoro would have been punished for losing hers, would she not?
Not really. Stealing it and losing it are two very different things.
I mean, she has a point.
And besides, school rules tend to make an exception for murder.
Seriously? That's a thing?
Oh, she's right. Monocro said so when we tried opening Kokoro's door, right before we discovered the body.
However, even if I were to open the door, I believe your efforts, unfortunately, may be a bit too late. What do you mean by back to the topic at hand? I am afraid I cannot allow one to break into another's dorm, unless certain dire circumstances arise. The rules certainly are strict, but I shall elect to forgive you if you do such in certain situations. For instance, let's say a murder, perhaps? Regardless, since you did go out of your way to call me, I'll be kind and open the door this one time. But the door unlocked. Coco!
On the topic of school rules, there was another one the killer violated for this case.
You mean the vandalism?
Wow, Yuki, there may be a brain in there after all.
Vandalism? Mind explaining for us, Yuki?
Don't you remember, big bro? The day after the performance, you said you'd noticed that the museum's Yuki Onna statue had been broken while out on the morning jog.
Oh yeah, we talked about vandalism then too.
But we all thought it was strange that Monocro hadn't punished anyone for it, when in actuality...
Yup, it was part of the trick.
In order to help create the illusion of Yuki Onna's curse, the culprit destroyed the statue to make it seem as if it had awoken.
Well, that may be one reason, certainly. Though I think the culprit had a different idea in mind. As you all know now, the crux of this case is the killer's disguise. Makeup can be used to mask the skin color. Stealing their clothes helps the appearance. But what about the hair?
The wig. She's right. The Kokoro we'd all met bore a remarkably strong resemblance to the real thing. So how did she mimic her hair color? Huh? Yes, I've been wondering how that evidence would tie in. Perhaps now?
Got it. The dressing room. She took a wig from the dressing room inside the museum.
Right again. Well, yeah, there was loads of wigs in the dressing room. But none of them looked like Kokoro's hair, right?
Iroha, do you remember the costume party we held on the first night we arrived at the second island?
Party? Oh yeah, I remember.
And do you remember who helped style our hair at that time?
Emma?
Huh? Oh! It was Emma! But wait, what does the wig have to do with the broken Yukiona statue?
It had the debris on it. The relationship between the wig and the broken statue. Maybe it's because of that. Wait, which one is it? This one? No.
Crap.
The wig and the broken statue. Okay, I'm looking at Shobides again. I had to take a second. So that, like I was saying before, he has to have known. Like, he nursed her or whatever, so he knows. He knows it's her.
Got it.
Okay.
It's probably because of the dressing room item list.
What's that?
Oh yeah, I saw that too. It's a list that details the amount of stock for each item in the dressing room. How many wigs there are, how many variations of clothing there are, things like that.
If the killer had taken a wig to disguise themselves as Kokono, then the numbering on the list wouldn't match the actual stock. So to cover that, they destroyed the statue and took the hair part to fill up the inventory.
Whoa, they went to all that effort for just one wig? Who'd notice something as small as that?
Teria.
Given how crucial the disguise was to the plan, I imagine they must have been hyper-vigilant and paranoid about keeping it hidden at all costs. And as a matter of fact, their meticulousness was not in vain.
Yeah, because Teria checks it.
A certain someone here took the time to memorize the whole list and cross-reference it with its stock every single day.
What? Who could be that perverted?
God, no, that was never my intent. I'm a merchant, remember?
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
A long time ago, I made a mistake in taking inventory, which resulted in something irreversible. I can't remember the details, but I swore to be thorough from then on.
Was that wasn't the second case with Kizuno, right?
But even despite that, memorizing inventories is nothing new for me. As a merchant, I can't stand not knowing exact quantities of the stock.
Even with Teria making daily rounds, not even he noticed a wig disappearing.
At a glance, it looks like the killer was being overly paranoid. When in reality, doing exactly that was what stopped Teria from noticing a discrepancy. The killer really was one step ahead of everyone.
The other tell was the small amount of rubble from the statue in one of the wigs.
Yeah.
That tiny detail is what led us down this path. Still, we would never have come up with the disguise idea without Kanade's help.
So it's Emma.
No, I was just able to look outside the box. That's all.
Well, well, well. It seems our killer has finally been unveiled.
Emma, you really?
She did.
Emma, if you really are the killer, then please, make this easy for us and confess now. I don't want to keep having to doubt you like this.
Are you truly that desperate to paint me as the killer?
Okay, that's kind of creepy. Is she acting? Like,
You've insulted my friendship with Kokoro, used my ultimate talent against me, and created this elaborate theory. And now you want me to confess to killing the closest friend I ever had. Have you not caused me enough pain already?
Emmy, don't cry.
I'd rather not believe any of this either. But the more I hear and the longer this goes on, even I have to wonder about the legitimacy of those tears.
yeah, seriously.
Well, they don't call her the ultimate actress for nothing. Don't know about the intent, but those tears seem genuine to me.
This is all too much. I feel so useless.
If we vote an innocent person as the Blackened, then everyone but the Blackened is killed, right? Fine. Have it your way. Go ahead and sentence us all to death.
I can't tell. Like, it is her, right?
What do you mean?
I've already told you, I'm not the killer. Kanade and Sora may have crafted an elaborate theory, but like I said, I didn't do it. So if you vote me, we'll all die. Whoever did this is setting me up. A real killer. They want you to think I did it. Please, you have to believe me.
You're still acting innocent? Ugh, this is just pathetic at this point. All the evidence is pointing towards you.
Sora, you remember what you said, don't you? If Kokoro hadn't died, perhaps my sincerity would have attracted her into her party. Yes, I wanted to be her friend. She may have not reciprocated it, but I genuinely cared for her from the bottom of my heart.
But how do you know she's being genuine? She's the ultimate actress. How do you know she's not acting right now?
If I die here, I won't be able to face Kokoro in the afterlife, knowing I let her killer get away.
Wait! Could it be? Yes. I think I may have found the key that shall turn this case around. Please, give me one more chance. There is still time. Time to prove to you that I, Emma Magorobi, am not the killer. I beg of you, please believe me.
Uh-oh.
Allow me to point out the contradiction in your reasoning.
I hate the arguments.
It's just the one, mind you. One minor flaw in such lengthy reasoning. But this will prove my innocence. And with it, change your mind.
It won't change my mind. It's you. It's you. I hate the rebuttal showdown. Showbai's account. It's gonna be Showbai, right?
So you're saying that the culprit must have gotten Kokoro's E-Handbook Plus at the performance, right? With the E-Handbook Plus, the culprit must have finished their preparations and gotten ready for his impersonation. According to you, it was during that night that the culprit went to the museum. There was lots to do, such as setting up the disguise and destroying the statue before morning time. But that night, I was there with all of you to hear the next announcement. Since the main gate had already been closed, I had no way to get out of the monocruise. Which means that I had no such time to prepare the disguise, and that your theory is impossible.
Is it really impossible? No way. Oh, she got out through the balcony.
So you're saying that the culprit must have gotten Kokoro's E-Handbook Plus at the performance, right? With the E-Handbook Plus, the culprit must have finished their preparations and gotten ready for the impersonation. According to you, it was during that night that the culprit went to the museum. There was lots to do, such as setting up the disguise and destroying the statue before morning time. But that night, I was there with all of you to hear the next announcement. Since the main gate had already been closed, I had no way to get out of the monocruise.
I'll pierce through those words.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of the rebuttal showdown. They're not that bad. It's not that bad. Okay.
No, it's possible to get out of the Monocruise after the door is locked at night.
What? Sora, are you just doing this for fun now? It is a proven fact that...
It was a proven fact. While it may have been impossible on the first island, things have changed since then.
It's Emma. That's crazy.
And you can now get out through the balcony on the 4th floor hallway.
Oh, that's right. The balcony's door was opened while we were sailing to this current island. But the 4th floor of the Monocruise is pretty high up, isn't it? If she jumped out at that height...
Then what if she didn't jump? What if she had a rope-like thing to climb down?
Yeah.
Oh, come off it, Yuki. Now you're just being ridiculous. Nobody went out through the balcony like that.
Yes, you did, because you left the makeshift rope behind. A rope-like thing. Didn't I hear a certain testimony about the balcony earlier? Was it a testimony? Setsuko was suspicious of the liquid nitrogen container. Nope. Yuki told me about his visit to Kokoro's room. Nope. Yoriko. Shinji was going for the morning jog. He saw something like a piece of fabric. This one. Okay.
Got it. Excuse me, Shinji?
Oh, yeah? Well, why do you need me all of a sudden?
Do you remember telling me that morning how you thought you saw something on the side of the balcony while on your morning jog?
Oh! You mean that? Yeah, I think I saw something like a big, long cloth being rolled up.
Well, Emma, unless you're prepared to call Shinji a liar.
You called me a liar? I ain't calling you a truther. If you get that, respect.
Wouldn't you say this proves someone could escape through the balcony at night? Sure, it would only be a one-way trip, but Hajime already proved it's possible to sneak back inside the Monocruise. As long as the killer snuck back inside the moment the cruise doors reopened, they wouldn't be noticed, allowing them to achieve a perfect crime.
Perhaps what Big Bro saw was the killer quickly retrieving the rope-like thing upon their return.
Seriously? That's just a hypothesis. You can't stake your claim like that.
It's you, Emma. Oh my gosh. Why? What?
But Shinji said he saw it that same day, didn't he? Yep. That sounds like a plausible means of escape to me. Wow. So many pieces pointing at Emma.
Okay, Kanade's a little scary.
Surely even you must realize that this goes a bit beyond a series of coincidences, correct? Emma, did you really? No way. So Emmy really did.
To sum up, the killer could enter Kokoro's room freely from that morning. So we had no choice but to recognize the disguised Kokoro as the real thing. And that was what made us believe that the case was a locked room murder when she unexplainably died.
If you're not satisfied yet, allow me to point out another reason to doubt Emma. Since the performance, she's made quite a scene about having lost her appetite. She hasn't finished a meal since that day. Why do you think that may be?
Guilt?
Because if she's the killer, she'd have to act as Coco. She requested to have food delivered to her room 3 times a day. As a result, Coco would have to be in her room during those periods. However, in order to not raise suspicion, Kim herself needed to join us for meals. So she came up with an excuse to leave the dining hall as soon as possible and set up the disguise.
Come to think of it, that would also explain why she gave such specific times for food to be delivered. At the time, we all just assumed it was part of Kokoro's meticulous nature. But that too was a ploy from the disguised killer.
Oh man.
By setting such precise times, she could decrease the risk of an unexpected situation.
It all adds up.
Yeah, it does.
You really are all going to doubt me until the very end.
Yes, because it's you.
Even despite overlooking a crucial detail?
We've accommodated for every detail and covered all evidence. So please shut your mouth and stop putting up this pitiful defense.
No, this detail is yet to be accounted for. I even mentioned it earlier. Allow me to illustrate the final point on why it was completely impossible for me to disguise myself as Kokoro.
Uh-oh. We're going into the non-stop debate. I'm a bit nervous. Oh gosh.
That's utterly I'm
Oops.
an actress, not a voice actor. I couldn't mimic her voice.
She didn't speak.
Are you also going to ignore the height discrepancy? I'm over 20 centimeters taller than her. It'd be obvious that it wasn't the real Kokoro.
You never stood up.
Of course, the two inconsistencies could be explained by the disease. But would I really be able to impersonate her if it weren't for the said disease? Remember, she was diagnosed the morning after the performance.
Yeah, she was already in the fridge.
The culprit would have had to prepare the disguise the night before.
Yes.
How would the culprit have known about Kokoro's condition in advance?
Because it's fake. She never had a condition.
Or without it. There was no other way to overcome the difference in height and voice. She had a rare endemic disease.
No, she
How could you
didn't.
possibly suggest the culprit would have been predicting something like that? Unless the culprit was some omniscient god. I'm putting an end to this disguise theory.
Here's what I think, okay? I think that she was given something to pass out at the concert. She was with Emma the whole time, like arm in arm with her the whole concert. And I think that when they brought her back, she was put in the fridge that night. So then when she woke up with some kind of disease or whatever. I think it was fake. I think it was Emma pretending so that she wouldn't have to speak. She wouldn't have to get up and walk, because that would mean because she couldn't walk and she couldn't speak. So I think the disease is fake. I think that's what I need to refute, but I'm not sure with what. She's denying it yet again. Let's listen to her again carefully. There must be a flaw somewhere.
So you're saying I disguised myself as Kokoro? That's utterly
Try
impossible.
ice bag.
I'm an actress, not a voice actor. I couldn't mimic her voice. Are you also going to ignore the height discrepancy? The culprit would have had to prepare the How would the culprit pour without it? She had a rare endemic disease. How could you possibly?
No, that's wrong!
Yeah, that's what I figured. Is Shobai gonna finally speak? So I can hear his voice? I'm gonna save real quick and go back in.
Wait, Emma, stop. What was that about an endemic disease?
Huh? What about it?
That's weird.
That's weird. That's weird.
Those who weren't with us at Shobai's examination shouldn't have known that Kokoro was specifically suffering from an endemic disease.
My gosh.
Those who weren't with us?
Everyone except me, Ra-Ra, Yuko, and you. Excluding Dr. Shobai and patient Koko, of course.
You weren't there, Emma. So do you mind telling us how you knew it was an endemic disease?
What are you talking about? You mentioned the disease in the dining hall, right?
But she didn't mention endemic. She just said she had a disease, right?
No. We only said that the disease was a rare one, not an endemic one.
What?
Not to worry, Emma. I'm sure you've heard it somewhere. Perhaps in Kokoro's bed as that very patient. Slip of the tongue is so far in. Don't look now, but I think someone needs to fix their makeup. Is that sweat I see?
I'd be sweating if she was talking to me like that too.
Oh dear. You can't take it back now.
Well now, hang on. Let me clarify I was speaking hypothetically. She might have been suffering from an endemic disease.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, come on, that...
You see, given the tropical nature of the islands we've been trapped on, my mind instantly assumed it was an endemic disease. I suppose that was my fault for assuming, but you really cannot convict me for a misunderstanding.
Oh my god.
Oh, come on! I work in journalism, and even I have to admit that's reaching.
Assumptions or otherwise, aren't you ignoring the obvious? The issue isn't about the type of disease. It's about how I knew of it in advance, according to your theory anyway.
It's a fair point. To fit with the timeline, the culprit would have been preparing the disguise long before Kokoro's diagnosis. And had Kokoro not fallen ill, the plan wouldn't have worked. There's no way someone could have predicted that.
She was never ill in the first place. I think she was drugged or something at the concert. And who was with her the whole time at the concert? Emma. I don't think she had a disease at all. She passed out because she was drugged. I'm so cold. It's so cold. I'm so cold right now. Sorry.
Do you understand now? With this, the entire disguise theory falls apart.
No, it doesn't.
Ah, yes, the infamous disease. Let's talk about that for a moment, shall we?
Yeah, because you're going to say it's also fake, and I agree.
Since Emma seems so fixated on it, and she is the ultimate actress, what if this disease was also another part of her act?
What do you mean?
Even if Emma was disguised as Kokoro, wasn't Shobai the one who diagnosed her disease? Oh, is that true? Then let's ask the man himself.
He's not a doctor. Like, why are they treating him like he is a doctor?
The good doctor has been awfully quiet throughout this trial.
He's been sleeping over there the whole time. Yeah, he's been too quiet. I miss hearing his voice.
Oh, he's still here? I thought that was just a cardboard cutout. Yoo-hoo! Anybody in there?
I'm busy right now. Can I ignore you later? Some of us are actually getting on with more important shit. I'm running some numbers through my head. Got more than 20 business deals I need to take care of, since I'm stuck wasting my life on this rock.
This guy's unreal! Does he even realize how important this trial is?
No, he doesn't care because he knows who it is.
Shobai, I'm sorry to bother you, but we need to ask you something.
Now what? You guys have already figured out the killer, right? Hurry up and get to the voting already. At this point, you're just dragging things out. Nobody with a functioning brain is interested in this anymore.
We're not voting until we've cleared up every shred of doubt, so stop whining and let me ask my question. Before the investigation had even concluded, you claimed to have solved the crime, remember? You deduced the killer almost immediately, noting that they had made a huge mistake.
He said that?
Yes.
Shobai, this concerns you as much as it concerns us. Was your examination genuine?
No, I might be a piece of work, but as a broker, I take great pride in what I do. And that includes what the job stands for. That checkup wasn't a favor. I was hired to do it. It was business.
What are you trying to say?
Client confidentiality, kid. Never disclose any details about the client or the deal.
Just tell me. Oh my god.
As a broker, that's my #1 rule.
This is a class trial! You really gonna stick to that Creek crap when your life is at stake?
Of course not. Nothing's more important to me than my own life. But that doesn't change... screw it. I'm technically not breaking that rule by coming clean here. My client was Kokoro Mitsume, a woman who's now legally dead. And I ain't got no problem with snitching on a corpse.
Wait, what? I'm so confused. Why is it in quotes, though? It's the fake... What? Like, it was... Kokoro, or supposed to be Kokoro, but was it Emma disguised as Kokoro and he figured it out? I'm so confused.
Shobai, wait!
Kokoro Mitsume came to me with a request. The details are as follows. I was attacked by a void. I want to expose the void who attacked me, so please make a fraudulent examination for my safety.
Oh.
Finally, deliver said fraudulent examination to anyone who asks. And that's it.
So she was attacked at the concert. I still think by Emma. I think Emma has to be a void. She was attacked by her at the concert.
I said wait!
No.
What? So, Kokoro really was never sick at all?
Nope.
That's the big question, isn't it? After all, we now know that request was not made by the real Kokoro in the first place.
You said that you knew who the killer was, Shobai. Were you able to infer that from the request alone?
Yeah, there was a lot that wasn't adding up. Since I take pride in my client confidentiality, she could have easily spoken to me normally, when it was just us two. And yet, she still insisted on using her iPad to communicate.
Yeah, because it was Emma.
That ain't all, though. Emma Magarobi said something strange, too. Right after Kokoro Mitsume collapsed and you'd all gathered around her, she specifically said that her body was scorching hot. Why did she say so when Kokoro Mitsume was attacked by the void and not suffering a disease?
I wonder.
Maybe she got burnt with wounds.
Hibiki, shush, darling.
If you think about it, everything we did was based on Emma saying she had a fever. After taking her to the room, we only gave her medicine and placed a wet towel on her forehead. Which you'd only do if she was ill, not wounded.
Yeah, she didn't have any wounds.
Well. It seems Emma had already begun baiting us. Starting small with a fever, making us believe she's sick, then having Shobai's phony diagnosis as the nail in the coffin.
And of course, none of us ever remotely considered the possibility of the disease being fabricated.
Wow, just wow. I wasn't even there and that story sounds suspicious.
Shh, you be quiet, Mikado. I don't... shush.
A healthy person suddenly gets paralyzed by an unknown endemic disease? Seriously, guys? I expected more.
I see. She carefully selected her words to make a subtle shift from healthy to unhealthy. That way, the diagnosis came as less of a shock. But ironically, that was what tipped Shobai off.
What do you mean?
The two statements directly contradicted each other. Emma Magarobi said it was a fever. Kokoro Mitsume said it was an attack. Granted, the disguise fooled even me at the time. But as soon as the body showed up, it all fell into place. It was Emma Magarobi in the dorm room with the disguise. Final answer.
We just wasted hours going back and forth, old man. Why didn't you say this earlier?
Old man.
I told you, I live by my own moral code, shorty. But since you guys have pretty much done the elbow work, and my client is legally dead, I figured I'd come clean. So there you have it. Your last shred of doubt, all cleared up.
And that's checkmate, Emma. No encore for you.
No, wait a minute. You must understand. I'm not the killer.
I'm sorry, Em, but I think you're the only one who believes that now.
Even I didn't want to believe Kanade at first. My reasoning is perfect. There's no room for doubt.
No, we're not done yet.
Yes, we are, Emma.
We haven't discussed how the killer dealt with the body.
What?
I was outside of the room when the body was discovered, so I couldn't have anything to do with it.
But listen, Linda. What happened? What happened was she was already kind of starting to defrost because she was starting to bleed when they discovered her body. So she could have been sitting there for like an hour. It didn't have to be immediately right before.
Seriously, Emma? You could do that treatment in the morning. Once you were done with your disguise, there'd be no need to open the door for us. So you could do your job whether somebody else visited or not.
By job, you mean the final step, yeah?
That's right. Take the frozen Kokoro out of the refrigerator and cut off every hand and foot to hide the severed fingertip.
If I did that, then the room would have been full of blood, wouldn't it? And yet, there was no such trace.
Because she was frozen. Oh my god.
Have you already forgotten her body was completely frozen? There'd be no risk of blood being spilt anywhere.
And it was starting, she was starting to bleed because she was starting to melt.
At most, the flesh would have been disturbed.
I'm gonna be sick.
Once that was all done, all you needed to do was return the refrigerator dividers back to their original position. Then slap a liquid nitrogen labeled drum down as a distraction. Finally, get out of the room and mission accomplished.
Hang on, that doesn't make sense. Kokoro was frozen by the instant freeze mode of the refrigerator, wasn't she? Not by the liquid nitrogen. Regardless of how long you freeze something, expose it to room temperature for a few hours and it'd melt on you.
I do recall seeing some blood emanating from Miss Mitsume's severed limbs.
Yeah, barely. If it was melting normally, we should have seen a lot more.
The dry ice packs? DK's right. Her body was melting at an abnormally slow pace. Perhaps that because the killer used that thing to keep the body cool. The ice pack? It's a bag used to store dry ice, which is abandoned in the corner of Kokoro's room. It's been opened. The contents are gone.
Got it.
Yeah.
Nikkei, that's because the killer used dry ice.
Dry ice?
When the body was first discovered, the room was unusually cold and covered in a thick mist.
Yep.
At first we believed it was the liquid nitrogen, but it was actually dry ice. We found a bag of it at the crime scene.
She maintains the temperature with dry ice in order to prevent the frozen body from melting.
How about it, Emma? Finally ready to give in? Emmy.
Oh. I don't believe any of her tears. Crocodile tears is what they are.
What did I ever do to deserve this?
You killed somebody. That's what you did.
I didn't do anything wrong. I just wanted Kokoro. These are all just coincidences. I didn't kill her. I swear to you.
Then who did? It's you.
Someone shut her up already. Give it a rest, woman. You lost.
You believe me, don't you? I could never kill Kokoro.
I don't believe you at all.
Please convince them for me. We're all walking into a trap.
No, we're not. It's hard to suspect Emma when she's crying like this. No, don't fall for her tears. Don't. She's manipulating you. But all the evidence is indicating Emma is the culprit. It's just an act. Another performance from the ultimate actress. Sorry, Emma. The show's over. Let's present the final evidence to end this trial for good. The minigame Terminate Talk Shooting is about to begin. Alright, I'm gonna hear the explanation, but I'm gonna try my best. I have on my left wrist, I have a brace on, so I might not be super good. Not that I'm good at it to begin with, but now I might even be worse. So just to warn you. I forgot how to do it. Alright, you have to present a final decisive piece of evidence in order to defeat desperate opponent using irrational arguments to defend themselves. Shoot down the arguments, the difficulty rises every time. Try shooting down the true feelings. Before you can present the evidence, you must break off pieces of the opponent's armor one by one. The screen will display a total of 8 lines, and the opponent's argument will appear randomly in each line. Move the cursor over a piece of dialogue and press Z to neutralize the opponent's argument. The opponent's arguments have their own HP, which can be discerned by their color. The maximum HP is 5, and arguments with HP of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 will be displayed in gray, purple, blue, green, and yellow, respectively. Okay. Reload with shift. Okay. After ridding your opponent of all their armor, combine the given words into a phrase. In order to land the final blow, the opponent will recover health. Okay. Alright, let's do it. I'm scared, but I'm gonna do it. Oh, look, she's just Harley Quinn.
So cool. You're all so cool. End like this. How did it come to this? It can't end like this. Why won't you believe me? We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. Is this the end? How could you accuse me of such a thing? It can't end like this.
I'm pushing the wrong button.
Consider I'm innocent. Hear me. Why won't you believe me? How could you accuse me of such a thing? We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. So cool. You're all so cool. Accuse me of such a thing. Must reconsider. It can't end like this. Why won't you believe me? We're all going to die. Is this the end? I'm innocent. Hear me out. You accuse me of such a thing. Cruel.
Oh my goodness, I hate having to reload.
I'm innocent. Hear me out. Why won't you believe me? How could you accuse me of such a thing? I'm going to die. I thought we were friends. So cool. You're all so cool. Accuse me of such a thing. You must reconsider. You better back off. Why won't you believe me? Is this the end? I thought we were friends. I'm innocent. Hear me out. You accuse me of such a thing. Cruel. You're all so cool. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Why won't you believe me? How could you accuse me of such a thing? I'm going to die. Is this the end? So cool. You're all so cool. You accuse me of such a thing. You must reconsider. You better back off. Why won't you believe me? Is this the end? I thought we were friends. I'm innocent. Hear me out. You accuse me of such a thing. It can't end like this. How did it come to this? I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? How could you accuse me of such a thing? I'm going to die. I thought we were friends. I'm innocent. Why won't you believe me? I thought we were friends. We're all going to die. You must reconsider. It can't end like this. It can't end like this. I'm innocent. Hear me out. We're all going to die. It can't end like this. So cruel. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? We're all going to die. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? I'm innocent. Hear me out. We're friends. You must reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? I thought we were friends. We're all going to die. You must reconsider. So cruel. You're all so cool. I'm innocent. Hear me out. We're friends. We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. So cool. You're all so cool. Why won't you believe me? We're all going to die. I'm innocent. Hear me out. Won't you believe me? I'm innocent. Hear me out. We're friends. You must reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. The end? Is this the end? We're all going to die. You must reconsider. So cruel. You're all so cool. How did it come to this? I thought we were friends. We're all going to die. I thought we were friends. So cruel. You're all so cruel. You better back off. How could you accuse me of such a thing? I'm innocent. Hear me out. You're all so cruel. Of such a thing. You must reconsider. You better back off. Is this the end? How did it come to this? I thought we were friends. How could you accuse me of such a thing? We're all going to die. How could you accuse me of such a thing? You're all so cruel. We're all going to die. How did it come to this? I thought we were friends. You must reconsider. I'm innocent. Hear me out. How could you accuse me of such a thing? To die. I'm innocent. Hear me out. You're all so cruel of such a thing. You must reconsider. You better back off. How could you accuse me of such a thing? Come to this. I thought we were friends. How could you accuse me of such a thing? We're all going to die. How could you accuse me of such a thing? You're all so cruel. We're all going to die. How could you accuse me of such a thing? You must reconsider. I'm innocent. You better back off. How could you accuse me of such a thing? To die. I'm innocent. Hear me out. You're all so cruel of such a thing. You must reconsider. Can't end like this. How could you accuse me of such a thing? Accuse me of such a thing. How could you accuse me of such a thing? You're all so cruel.
Oh my gosh.
What possible reason could you have
both
linking
were
me to
never.
Kokoro?
This is the end.
Oh man. Oh wow, I did pretty well. I'm surprised. I didn't talk because I was concentrating. I'm gonna save and go back in. So it is Emma. It's Emma.
I just have one more thing I'd like to ask everyone. Has anybody here ever visited Kokoto with Emma?
Huh? Oh, that's...
No. The only time she went was one of the times when she didn't answer the door. Right?
I thought not. And the reason why? Because it's impossible. As we've agreed, the bedridden Kokoto was none other than Emma. If Emma ever came to visit, the bed would be empty.
What are you talking about, Sora? I definitely visited Kokoro's room.
No, you didn't.
Yuki, Teruya, you two remember, don't you?
But wasn't that a time when she didn't answer?
Oh, that's true. I've definitely gone there with Emma before. As she was leaving the dining hall, I caught up with her and suggested she join us.
But did Kokoro open the door when you arrived?
No. That was yesterday evening. The first time Kokoro didn't open the door for us.
Because it was Emma.
As I suspected. After all, how could Kokoro open the door while Emma was outside the very same door?
Ironic, isn't it, Emma? What Yuki just said makes you even more suspicious. You always claimed to have no appetite, so you could sneak out of the dining hall and eat your meals as Kokoto. And as a result, you never sat with Kokoto during one of her meals.
Which would have been weird because she was her self-proclaimed best friend.
Wow, you sure did care for her, Emma. A grand total of 0 visits for your sick best friend.
Exactly.
Didn't even visit her once.
More like she couldn't.
Perhaps Mr. Maeda's suggestion caught her off guard. She certainly did seem in a hurry to leave that evening.
It's over, Emma. There's nowhere to run. Finally given up? Good. It's time for your curtain call. Let's summarize the case once again and expose your crime.
Oh god, I'm gonna do the summary. Next chapter, I want to spend time hanging out with Iroha so I could get her skill that'll help me with the closing argument, because in this game it's very difficult. And in the last one, it took me so long to get it right. Closing argument. I clicked it by accident, but I know I have to do the same thing every single... Not the same thing, but like I have to fill in every single blank. That's what I meant to say. How many pages? Oh, 6. Okay. Let's look at them. Melody Rhythms concert. They brought the fainted Kokoro to her room. We used her e-handbook plus to get inside. The killer knocked out Kokoro during the performance. We all assumed she'd collapsed. Oops. That's not what I meant to do! Alright, I'm just gonna click them and then start over. I'm sorry. I'm so like... I meant to click A, but I clicked... they were the last to leave Kokoro's room, swiping her e-handbook plus while alone. Alright, so first is the concert. Then she passed out. They used this, and then this. Okay. Once they had her finger, they tied her up and put her into the refrigerator. I still think it's kind of cruel they took all her clothes off. I guess that was to hasten the freezing to death, make it go faster. While everybody else was sleeping, they went to Kokoro's room. After putting her in the refrigerator, they set the mode to instant freeze. To get the fingerprint needed for her e-handbook, they cut her finger off. This one. This one. This one. This one. What? Here we go again. I'm so confused. What? Once they had her finger, they tied her up. While they were sleeping... Oh, this is first. Sorry. My fault. They took her finger. They put her in the fridge. They put it to instant freeze. My bad. To cover up stealing a wig, they destroyed the Yuki Onna statue and put the hair and used its hair as a replacement. After everything had been prepared, they covered the entire scene with dry ice. That's the end. To help prepare the disguise, they snuck out of the monocruise at night. They arrived at the museum and chose the appropriate wig. The Yuki Onna statue without its hair. Okay. This one. What is this again? This one. This one. This one. Yay! Oh my goodness. Disguised as Kokoro, they used Shobai's fake diagnosis to trick everyone. Shobai noticed the abnormality. As soon as morning came, they returned to the balcony and retrieved the evidence. Stuck a liquid nitrogen label onto an empty drum. They sent a request to Shobai asking for a fraudulent diagnosis. This one. This one. Which one comes first? This one or this one? When did he notice beforehand? Oh, I got it right! Oh my god. I feel proud of myself. Oh, now there's 6 of them. Oh, help me. As time passed, Kokoro's body was discovered. Being frozen, Kokoro used her last strength to leave a dying message. Everyone in the monocruise visited Kokoro for several days without noticing the disguise. The real Kokoro eventually froze to death. After manipulating the crime scene, they took the frozen body out and cut off its hands and feet. Kokoro left a dying message made with icicles. Okay, so,
This is the truth of the case.
Oh my gosh.
This all started back during the performance Setsuka suggested.
Finally, I'm sorry. I had to look it up. I couldn't. I kept getting stuck. It was driving me insane. Definitely focusing on Aroha's skill next.
At some point during the performance, Kokoro suddenly collapsed. The culprit was the first to check her temperature, describing it as scorching hot to make us believe she'd fallen ill to some disease. While in reality, the killer had likely attacked Kokoro during the noise and excitement of the concert. We immediately brought Kokoro into her room. We used her finger to gain access to her e-handbook plus. The e-handbook pluses can only be turned on by its owner's fingerprint. The killer made note of this in their plan. Feigning concern over Kokoro, the killer made sure to leave her room last. They needed to do this in order to subtly steal Kokoro's e-handbook plus. As soon as nighttime arrived, the culprit returned to the scene after making sure everyone else was asleep. Since the e-handbook plus's power was still on, they were able to re-enter her room. Knowing they wouldn't be interrupted at night, the culprit began their preparations. First, they tied up Kokoro and then cut off her fingertip. They needed this in order to have permanent access to her e-handbook plus. Once the bleeding had stopped, they stuffed Kokoro into the refrigerator. By removing all of the refrigerator's dividers, there was just enough space to store her body in. After placing her body inside, They set the refrigerator's output as instant freeze, with the intent to freeze Kokoro to death. Next came the disguise preparations. The disguise was the most crucial element to this murder, as they wanted it to seem as if Kokoro was alive for longer than she was. They stole the clothes Kokoro had been wearing, then set out to find a wig that emulated her hair. Fortunately for our killer, they'd taken note of the dressing room in the museum and planned to use it to their advantage. Naturally, people would be concerned over Kokoro, so the disguise had to be ready by the next morning. But the Monocruise had already closed its gates for the night. This left the killer with no choice but to create a makeshift rope and climb down the Monocruise from the 4th floor's balcony. Upon arriving at the museum, they took a wig that resembled Kokoro's hair from the dressing room. However, this would create a discrepancy with the dressing room's item list. So to accommodate for this, they destroyed the Yuki Onna statue and planted its hair in the wig's place. The destruction of the statue brought two benefits. Not only did it fix the discrepancy, but also made some fear the curse of the awakened Yuki Onna. Considering the body's state when we discovered it, the implications of the curse only increased. The next morning, the culprit returned on board the Monocruise right after the door opened, making quick work to remove the evidence at the balcony. They also used Kokoro's e-handbook Plus to send a request to Shobai. I was attacked by a void. I want to expose the void who attacked me, so please make a fraudulent examination for my safety. Finally, deliver said fraudulent examination to anyone who asks. That was the request. Dr. Grumpy accepted this request, but began noticing something was off while talking with the disguised culprit.
Dr. Grumpy!
They made sure to remain silent even in front of Shobai himself, contradicting the killer's note of Kokoro having a fever the previous night. Perhaps he was able to deduce the killer based on these two inconsistencies. Either way, his false examination made us believe that Kokoro had begun to suffer from a disease. With us taking the bait, the killer no longer had to worry about the two biggest issues with their disguise: the height and the voice. The phony paralysis also allowed the culprit to request we bring them meals at 3 specific times a day. That was done to reduce the risk of an unexpected situation and to ensure they were in disguise for 3 set times. In an attempt to appear less suspicious, the culprit themselves faked a loss of appetite, to provide ample time to disguise as Kokoro and eat her meal instead. And while effective at first, this ironically made them look more suspicious in the long run. Over the next few days, we continued to bring Kokoro her meals, unaware of the one beneath the disguise. We all continued to believe that, while unwell, Kokoro was still alive. But the horrid truth was that the real Kokoro Mitsume was slowly freezing to death in the refrigerator.
Oh, that's awful.
Right before she perished, though, she used the last of her strength to leave a dying message. She broke 8 icicles that were created by the instant freeze mode, proceeding to carve F on the front and O on the back with her nail. Then, on the last icicle, she carved I instead of O, and penetrated the longest icicle through the I icicle to complete the message. There are 8 icicles with the letter F, and conveniently also 8 females. That would mean the tallest girl among all females was the one who killed I, Kokoro. After all, the culprit was indeed the tallest among the females. Without the dying message, we never would have been able to pinpoint the culprit. Eventually, the real Kokoro Mitsume finally died, leaving the culprit with no further reason to keep up the act.
Jeez, how long was she in the fridge for? Days? Just freezing? Oh, that's awful. It's brutal.
That night, the culprit grabbed a pack of dry ice and an empty oil drum. The following morning, with the intent to complete their crime, by slapping a liquid nitrogen label into the drum, we don't make the mistake of assuming Kokoro had been freezing via the nitrogen, not the refrigerator. There was also the issue of Kokodo's missing fingertip. Had only that been missing, we'd have caught on much sooner. So to cover the tracks, the culprit cut off both her hands and feet. Not only did this work in their favor, but again, it brought more suspicion onto the Yukiona's curse. Finally, all that was left to do was cover the room and body in dry ice, to force the body to melt at a much slower rate before fleeing the scene. The rest was like clockwork. Over time, we'd become suspicious that Kokoro wasn't answering her door, causing us to eventually discover the body. The culprit was incredibly cunning and careful. If it weren't for Kokoro's dying message, they may very well have gotten away with the crime. Perhaps this was karma for pretending to care deeply for her. The monster who had us all fooled, the one who murdered Kokoro.
Emma.
It can be no one but you, Emma Magarobi.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't get a perfect score. I'm never gonna get a perfect score.
No one but you? You said no one but you?
Oh, she's scaring me now.
It's a failure then. So be it.
What's happening? Okay, not the best, not the worst. Okay. I got a D. Of course I did. Ugh. Sora's on level 10. Yeah. Sharp shooter skill. Okay, I got some crow, thank goodness. Maybe oh, did I get more? Okay, why do I get a rank bonus for being a D? Like, a D's not good, right?
It seems you have all finally reached a conclusion. Just like the last trial, you only get one attempt at voting. Think carefully before you decide. Now, let us see if you have chosen wisely or poorly. Ladies and gentlemen, use the panel in front of you to vote for who you believe to be the culprit. Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What is it going to be?
Oh, man. Trial end. It is Emma. Man. Would you like to save? Yes.
Congratulations!
That's right. Miss Emma Magarobi was the culprit of this murder case. A rightful verdict indeed.
I must say, I'm impressed.
I must say that your performance was splendid.
No way.
Emma.
Fuck!
Darn it. We had gotten the right answer. Emma was the killer. We had already worked it out during the class trial. Everyone must have voted for her with confidence. But even so, knowing the answer beforehand didn't make this any less of a shock. I'm thinking at the beginning of the chapter then, right, it must have been, I'll keep an eye on her. At first I thought that was, oh, it's Nikkei, right? Because the ultimate talent will let him keep an eye on her. I thought the her was Sora, so I thought that it was Nikkei. Was gonna keep an eye on her, but I actually think it was Emma talking about Kokoro. She was going to use her ultimate actress talent to make everyone believe that she cared for her and try to get close to her and like, I don't know. Oh man. Having to accept that one of your classmates committed murder. Why? Just why? You were close friends with Kokoro. Why did you kill her, Emma? She was acting the whole time. I don't think she was friends with her from the beginning.
Idiot.
Why do you think she did it when there's only one possible reason?
That's why.
It's because she's a void. You're a void, aren't you, Emmy? Well?
Hey,
Hey, isn't it too early to say that? We're not entirely sure if a murderer is 100% guaranteed to be a void member.
You!
It would be best if Emma explains it to us herself.
Listen.
Please, tell us your reason. There's no need to mind my presence, Miss Magarobi. Speak as freely as you like. See, he's giving her permission, so yeah, she's a void. Just like he did with Hajime, he did the same thing. Gave him permission to speak. Huh? What's he talking about?
I tip my hat to you.
Your abilities are far superior to those of Mr. Makunochi, so I put my trust in you. You may use the little time you have left in any way you want. Having kept silent since the end of the trial, Emma suddenly let out a deep breath and began talking. Oh, she is. She's a void.
Nothing big. I did it because I'm a void. Like you pointed out. That's all.
She is. Oh man, that's crazy.
Just like Hajime was. I am Mikado's co-conspirator and ally too. I'm sorry if you expected something saintly from me.
Emma's beautiful face became contorted as she spoke. It looked surprisingly similar to Hajime's appearance in the last trial. Void?
Duh.
See? I told you. But the voids, weren't they no longer willing to work with Mikado after he betrayed them?
Listen.
Betrayed. Yes, Hajime died, and we weren't told that we would die for real either. From our perspective, it's true that Mikado betrayed us. Then why? Why did you commit murder?
It cannot be helped.
It's too late for us to turn back. Us voids, we cannot be saved, even if we decide to abandon the plan at this point. If we antagonize Mikado and helped you escape this island, there would be absolutely nothing left for us. But you didn't have to go as far as to murder. I don't know about your motive, but we could have helped you get over it.
I don't understand.
It's not something that can be magically solved like that. You don't know anything about us. We have our own reasons for doing this.
Also,
Is that why you killed Kokoro? Was it to carry out Void's plan as a member of your group?
that's why.
Kokoro said Hajime's murder was coordinated in advance. They must have a goal that needs to be accomplished no matter what, even if it means killing someone and risking execution.
Huh?
So M was supposed to murder too?
How awkward.
That is one point that I find strange as well. I am certain Miss Magarobi's turn was yet to come. Oh, so she wasn't supposed to go next? Someone else was? But she went instead?
What did you say?
Huh? What do you mean?
Allow me to explain.
I will give a brief explanation. Each of the 5 voids has a responsibility to commit murder in a set order. I believe Mr. Makunochi mentioned this before. Of course, anyone else is welcome to kill. You may think of this as It's a safeguard against possible deadlocks. If only voids commit murder, other voids with knowledge of the kill order would throw the identity of the culprit long before the trial. That's interesting, because so it's possible that there could possibly be a trial where a murderer isn't a void, right? Which is interesting.
Indeed.
It would be like watching a mystery TV show after being spoiled on the ending. 'Twould be neither fair nor entertaining. However, it is surely a great merit to know who is supposed to murder next.
What are you saying?
Then if it wasn't Emma's turn yet...
Well, that's not good.
I was perplexed after realizing who the culprit was. The occurrence of a non-void murderer was within my expectations, but voids muddling up the kill order... It would have been nice if I was informed on this in advance.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Mikado. I messed up the reenactment. See, she's saying reenactment, and this makes me think they're trying to reenact the first Killing Game in order to awaken Utsuro. I'm convinced.
You are forgiven.
No need to apologize. Although you may not have noticed it yet, you reenacted the case to a fine extent. The second case in the first game was Kizuna. And it had to do a lot with friendship and things like that. So I guess that's why he's saying that. It's quite different from Kizuna's case with Akane and Ayame. That was craziness. But, yeah. Kokoro Mitsune, because that woman got on my nerves. I had to kill her. But you were really close with her. Why? Yuki, she was acting the whole time. Don't you get it?
Alright.
Since I'm going to die soon, I'll tell you. It was when we were watching the twins' performance. What's the matter, Kokoro? The concert is still going on. Why did you want to have a talk all of a sudden? This is also for your own sake. I hope you understand. Emma, you have been encouraging me to join the rest of you for the past few days, correct? Right. Oh, do you feel like doing it at last? Well, I believe you can suppose so, but only under one condition. A condition? I have plans to cooperate and resolve the situation with the rest of you, if you decide to work with us, Emma. So she knew she was a void, and she's calling her out. But what do you mean by that? I don't know. Don't you understand? My condition is for you, a member of Void, to stop working for your group and join us. What are you talking about? Me, a Void? I admit you have done a great job, but acting won't work here. You cannot deceive me. Emma Magarobi, you are a Void. Don't worry. If I had intended to reveal your identity to everyone, I would have already done so. I know a few others who are quite likely to be in Void as well. Still, I am proposing this offer to you because you always approached me with a friendly attitude. I think you could be a great help to us. Oh, the betrayal. Oh, she betrayed her so bad. I hope you aren't considering attacking me. That would be an incredibly unwise decision. I am not so imprudent as to talk one-on-one with a dangerous individual such as you. Besides, everyone will witness your crime, even if you do succeed. I asked Teruya Otori to act as my bodyguard a few days ago. He should be watching us as we speak. If you're planning any tricks, give it up now. What do you want? Just as I said, come to our side. Tell everyone that you're a Void, and share any information you have about Void and Mikado Sonoji. We need the Void's information in order to work out the problem. In fact, I have a fairly convincing suspicion about Mikado Sonoji. If the Void's testimony backs it up, we may be able to escape the island. There are 2 more Voids among us. If I become a traitor, you know what they'll do. No need to be concerned. I believe I know who they are. If you choose to join us, I will make them follow you to join our side. That's easy for you to say. We Voids have a reason to be committed to our plan, even as far as to resort to these dirty methods. I don't know how you managed to expose me, but I can't give up here, even if it's against you, Kokoro. Do you know our pain? Our suffering? If you know how much, why don't you try your almighty mind reading on me? At last, you expressed your honest feelings. What? For the last few days, Emma, you've constantly tried to get along with me. As the ultimate actress, you played a pure-hearted friend with a level of sincerity that even I couldn't doubt. Of course, your real purpose was to keep watch on me, someone who poses a threat to Void. Your overly perfect kindness, nothing but purity in your mind. I was able to deduce that you were a Void using these hints. But at the same time, I wanted to know how you truly felt. Regardless of your intent, you were the first to become this close to me. Kokoro! Only after pushing you this far, I do finally understand you. Which makes me want even more for you to work with us. Emma. Oh no! Oh, the betrayal, my heart! But don't worry. Whether it's about your father or your adoptive parents, we'll do the best we can to help. What? I told you earlier, because you showed me your honest feelings, I can understand you now. Naturally, when I read a defenseless person's mind, I can see their true feelings. Your dark past, Void's motives, I saw all of it. You saw my... I apologize for doing it without your consent, but this was the only way to convince... Emma? No, no! This emotion is something twisted. No, monstrous? No, 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 no! I'll do whatever you say! I'll bring money and just don't hurt me! Wait, Suratori?
Shit.
That's...
Good grief.
I see. Miss Magarobi's old wound was carelessly torn open by Miss Mitsume. What are you talking about?
You see.
Miss Magarobi has lived a terrible past which she absolutely loathes to recall. I would say it's similar to psychological trauma. The mere act of recalling it is enough to cause her seizures, even in ideal circumstances. When combined with her complex feelings and the shock of being exposed, Miss Magarobi couldn't control her emotional outbursts anymore.
Certainly.
So it was an accidental murder then. Now I understand why Emma committed murder when it wasn't her turn.
I messed up.
I'm sorry, everyone. As Emma just said, the day after I woke up on the island, Kokoro gave me a personal request. She said she was going to focus completely on finding the Voids, and was concerned about the other Voids targeting her. So she told me to watch on her from a close distance and come to her aid in case something happened.
But
she must have chosen you because you were the least likely to be a Void. Wait a minute, Kokoro said that? She made a whole announcement to tell us that she wasn't going to care about Void or whatsoever.
You see.
She said that in order to throw the voids off her trail. She wasn't sure who was in void, so she pretended to be ignorant and worked in secret.
Then...
Kokoro really wanted to help us. But I couldn't save her. I was distracted by the concert and took my eyes off her. I left Kokoro to get attacked and die, right under my nose.
That's...
You don't have to feel responsible, Teria. No one would have expected a killer to attack her in a crowded place like that.
But
Yeah. And that would mean it's our fault too, for doing the concert. If Kanade and I looked more closely at the audience, this wouldn't have...
The hell?
I know the audience was looking towards the stage, but why didn't the twins see anything? Kanade always closes her eyes when playing the guitar, and I can't see very far when I'm focusing on communicating with people in the front rows. Maybe you just need some glasses. You nearsighted like I am?
cut it out.
Stop it. Now isn't the time to blame yourselves, everyone. We just got unlucky that all these bad things happened at once.
It cannot be helped.
It's already over, but I don't regret it. It was bound to happen someday. After all, this is a curse ingrained in my memory. Even if Kokoro did not bring up my past, I would have never betrayed Void.
This is my resolve.
As a Void, I will put everything into one last hope we have. Even if you die from it?
Even so.
Yes. Besides, I would be no better than a walking corpse if the plan fails. You sure about that, Em? Huh? Do you really have no regrets? Big Sis has a gut feeling that you really did feel happy when you were with Coco, Em. Same when you were with us. Max said he enjoyed being with us too.
Yes.
She's right. Void is only doing this because they were forced to by some unknown reason. It's not too late. You can recompense for what you did later. For now, don't you think we should work together to give that Mikado a big kick in the butt? Mikado, I'm done. Start my execution now.
Huh?
Is that really all right? I don't think I can face you all any longer. If I stand here for another moment, I won't be able to remain a void.
But
Emmy. No one but Emma herself would ever know whether she was putting on an act or not. But I could tell that she looked incredibly distressed at that time. Knowing that a classmate committed murder, hearing that she was a void, now I want to know more about her past to see why is she a void? Troubled by mixed feelings, no one knew what to say. Instead, we merely stood, watching her.
Look.
I'll say one last thing. Shinji's plan, I don't think it was fundamentally in the wrong direction. If we had another way out, we wouldn't have agreed to this nasty plan. Hajime felt it, and I did too. I'm sure that if we'd have met under different circumstances, we would have stayed as good friends. But while the plan is in action, all the process means nothing.
It cannot be helped.
No matter what you do, the outcome is already set. Just like how I'm about to die, despite my struggles.
What did you say?
The outcome is already set?
That's why.
Even though I will die as another sacrifice to the plan, you all should try working against it in whatever way you believe in. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. Em, are you seriously okay with that? It's your last chance. Can't you tell us something to strike back at Mikado with, at the very least?
Please stop that.
Oh, your words are of no use. Like all other voids, Miss Magarobi is already well aware of the state she's in. This is their only choice. They must put every bit of themselves in this plan.
Say,
Just what is this plan you keep mentioning? Nothing any of you voids say makes any sense.
Now then.
Well, it would not make much of a difference, even if Miss Magarobi or I told our plan to everyone here. As Miss Magarobi said, the outcome is already set. Everything in here is only a step leading towards that outcome.
You're amazing.
In any case, I would like to show my respect for Miss Magarobi's towering intellect. Keeping calm in her current position isn't an easy task to do, Show respect to your intellect. Oh, I could see why Miss Magarobi enjoys these types of jokes. Oh,
please.
I don't care, just kill me already.
Ah, how boring.
All right. I'm glad to have worked with such an outstanding person. It's almost a shame that I have to execute her myself. But are you certain about this? The subject of death is not something to be taken lightly, even more so than you think.
Careful now.
Only a few minutes left. You will be executed shortly after. Prepare to take in the full experience of the last moment of your life. The excitement of the crowd has waned by now. It must be time for your curtain call, the execution. Let us commence. I have prepared a very special punishment for tonight's blackened. Miss Emma Magarobi, the ultimate actress.
I'm
dying. Hold on. Don't start it yet. I think I'm scared. Then, shall we start?
I don't want to die! I don't want to die! I still want to live! I don't want to be killed!
It's punishment time.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Oh my god. Stop. They're really doing this? Team Void Pictures. Oh my gosh. Like, from the second we saw, I'm like, she's a play on Emma Watson. And they're actually doing that.
Why so serious?
The Emma in the woods. What, was she in space? What is happening? Oh god. Oh, that's awful. I feel. Oh god. They just tear her apart? Oh. Poor woman. You were never paid back for your efforts. Farewell, Miss Emma Magarobi. May her remains rest in peace.
No way.
Dear me. An excellent colleague, I must say. But you too were nothing more than a predictable, average being in the end.
How disgraceful.
Pleading for mercy at the very last moment. How utterly disgraceful. Please no more. How? How long do I need to keep doing this?
Annette.
Damn it.
Well, great.
We done here? Can I leave now?
Dumbass.
Hey, you. Gives you the right to act like that when you contributed so little.
Piss off.
Shouldn't you be used to it by now? Mind your own business.
But...
Chobai, I don't care what you do, but aren't you in need of a way to get out of this place too? I can look after myself. Quit bothering me.
Well, that came out of left field, huh?
Now, that girl... Emma Magorobi, wasn't it? I heard her speaking. Something about the girl she offed. Kokoro Mitsume. I can't help but wonder... Shoot. Her death might have been a greater loss than I thought.
The hell?
The heck's he talking about?
Seriously?
He just left?
Congratulations.
My, what an eventful evening. Everyone, I must thank you for your hard work. Our numbers may dwindle, but we cannot let our spirit falter. Let's return to our daily lives. Otherwise, those weary looks of yours may frighten away the sparks of joy. Whew.
No good.
He's a spiteful person, even till the end. The second class trial was over. The culprit of the second murder was executed. Regardless of who she really was, this was the death of a friend we had been living with for the past few days. Like in Hajime's case, this wasn't a feeling I could just push aside. And all that remained in the courtroom was an extremely unpleasant feeling. Even Setsuka and Shinji, who had been our pillars of strength, kept silence as if they've lost their energy.
Hey!
Stop crying, Iroha. Guys, I don't know what to say, but we can't give up here.
Darn it!
Oh, come on, Teruya, think. Man, what would they have said at a time like this? Damn it. Everyone.
For real?
Wow. I never thought the day I'd see the day where I'd agree with Mikado.
Huh?
Exists? Huh.
Guys,
You?
snap out of it!
Huh?
Iki, what are you all doing, moping around like this? We can't let this beat us. Even Mikado knew that. Now let's hold our heads up and return to our daily lives. Or what? Do you want to stay up all night in this creepy class trial room? Huh?
What are you saying?
What the heck? Did she suddenly get possessed by a spirit or something? Honestly, I'm feeling a lot of guilt right now. I'm indirectly responsible for both Jimmy's and Emmy's murders. We threw the party that led to Rinrin dying because I was complaining all the time. And I also helped with the concert Suka planned, where Korra was murdered.
What?
Yeah, so? What, are you gonna burst into tears again? How original. Shut up, Nikki! And yeah, this is tough, but if I keep being peevish and whiny, then it'll just happen for a third time. Another murder will happen because of me.
Okay.
Not at all. It's not your fault. Don't put the blame on yourself, you hear?
In that case...
No, it's okay. I realized that I have to change when Suka cheered me up last time. And even more so, I don't want to be a burden to the rest of you. Well, how about that? How can anyone say no to such a heartwarming speech from little Beaky? Who are you calling little, huh?
Oh, right.
Right. What Emma said confirms my thoughts. The Voids are...
Pay attention.
The Voids are victims too. Well, I don't know about their goal. I do know that the bonds we made with them over the past few days were real. Whatever their plan is, they're only carrying it out because they have no other choice. So if we can just find another way to help them, we could solve everything. Yeah, that's it. Okay, time to find this other way. If we work together, we can save the Voids and ourselves. I, Shinji Kasai, promise you that I will never, ever give up. Shinji's gonna end up dying. They always kill these characters. Everyone. It seemed as if Hibiki pulled us out of the bleak moment we were in. If you think about it, wouldn't she be the person who changed the most upon coming to this island? After going through a series of events, Hibiki had now developed a mature attitude that moved everyone's hearts. With a few exceptions, of course. Like hell we will.
What did you say?
What?
I'm out.
If If you're gonna be all buddy-buddy after this, be my guest. But I'm out. I'm gonna do this by myself now.
Huh?
Huh? Nikki, what's got to you all of a sudden?
What?
It's not all of a sudden. Didn't I tell you before the trial? Blindly trusting one another is just a recipe for disaster. We've tried it twice now. Both times ended the same way. Shinji said voids are victims too. So what? That doesn't make them any less of a criminal. And we don't know when they're gonna come after us either. Well, you all have fun with that. If you want to still call them friends and whatnot, then be my guest. Keep me out of this. I'm done.
Are you for real?
What? You made all that effort to join our group, and now you're throwing it away just like that?
If so,
Are you hiding something from us? Could you be a void? I thought he was a void too. I was still a little suspicious of him, but now that the thing that made me suspicious of him, I think, was actually Emma. So now I'm a bit unsure.
This is pointless.
Think whatever you want. It's just that I can't trust that your naive approach will work. From now on, I'm flying solo, like Shobai. Good luck with that strange terrier guy. Later. Jeez, what's up with that guy? Why is he suddenly acting like that?
Wait.
Suddenly? No, Nick said so himself. Even before the murder, he already had some gripes with our situation. He can do whatever he wants. It's not like I wanted him to be with us. You say that, but I think you did want him to be with you. That said, we should be going now.
Now then.
Right. We'll think of what to do next when morning comes. Roha, you feeling any better? Yes. I'm sorry for the mess earlier. Yuki, we should go. Yuki? What's wrong? You were spacing out. Yu was a big fan of Emmy. I know how you feel, but try to cheer up for Emmy, okay? It's not because of that.
sorry.
Huh? Did I say something wrong? I'm sorry. Looks like a few people are still a bit shaken. It's understandable, though.
I promise it.
Staying positive will pay off in the long run. I promise you. So for now, let's bear this hardship together.
Come on.
Okay, let's go, Kanade. This isn't how Hibiki is supposed to be.
Hey, Kanade.
What are you doing, Kanade? Are you gonna keep your big sis waiting? Let's go, come on.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, big sis, I'm coming. Our moment of delight was cut short by Nikke, followed by a few others that looked tense and uneasy. Once again, our bonds had been pushed to the limit with Kokoro and Emma's deaths. How would this affect our group? Only time would tell. Although we were all worried about the same problem, none chose to verbalize it. And we finally decided to get rest for the day. It's the night after the second trial. We'd all unanimously agreed to decide what to do tomorrow after getting some sleep. Emma, wait, you don't have any clues about them. What is their objective? I think they're trying to awaken Utsuro. For what reason did they come up with a plan like this and carry it out? Continuously turning over in my mind questions I could never understand, I descended into the abyss of the night, an ocean of sleep. What's happening? Yes, we have to be more careful from now on. I'll do my best to look for that thing you told me about. Be careful. Act normal and void, and don't let them find out. What? Yes, I know.
Just count on Big Sis for everything.
What? Setsuko? Is a void? What? Did they just reveal Setsuka's a void? What's happening? What? They did, right? They just revealed that she's...
Danganronpa.
Emma. But didn't they just reveal that it's Setsuka? Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm gonna save, but anyway, this is the end of chapter 2. That was crazy. That ending was crazy. Next we'll go into chapter 3. From now on it won't be dubbed in English. I will be reading it. I know my voices aren't as good as the voice actors in the dub, but I will try my best. But anyway, that's it. That's the second trial. We are done. I think Setsuka's a Void trying to act normal in Void. I don't know what that was, who she was talking to. Yeah, that was kind of intense. The betrayal. Oh man. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video when we start chapter 3. Bye bye.